Oh my god.
The oven is behind me, so I won't be able to see when
Set
it's
yourself on push to
close
talk.
to beeping loudly.
in your kitchen.
Just set an alarm on your phone to let you know when the oven's gonna go off.
That's pretty good.
Dumb.
Or alarm on your computer. Windows 10 just lets you do alarms.
Okay, put one on your computer and one on your phone.
Yeah, put one on your computer to look at your phone, and one on your phone to look at your oven.
Yeah. And then they'll all go off. You won't stop any of them, and then the bird will start chirping, and I'll just fucking mute you.
And then I'll set an alarm, Alex, to tell you to look at your computer's alarm. So I can in recording in recording say, "Hey Alex, look at your alarm on your computer."
Hey, Alex, voice, can you turn off your cricket alarm too?
Yeah.
In the days of old, back when we played D&D every week. Forgot those were days. You all came across a man that Walker knew as Marquez. He said he would help you get out of the country, any of you who needed it, but he needed a favor. So, by way of the Long Howl, you made your way to the eastern side of Lenore. A quick stop in Morwen, a quicker stop in Sharondale, and a short while later, you were dropped off on the shores outside of Aria, where you saddled up on your 5 surviving horses after many trials and tribulations. The horses were poisoned. It was really, really sad. Hat tip to Nick for making it a lot sadder than it should have been. And you continued. With your horses in tow, you made very quick progress and traveled well into the night and the wee hours past midnight through the swamps of the northern Mistweald Wilds, far past the Moonlight Divide River. Every time you seemed to find a place, there was something dangerous around and nowhere that seemed safe. So, with exhausted horses, you eventually found a thicket where you were able to knock down the grass and find a few exploding toads, as they are colloquially known. Owen was unsuccessful in scaring them away or telling them to leave. But they were none the wiser when Rom scared them all. I was waiting for the Nick rage scream at me. But eventually you were able to set up a camp, get some rest, and end the night. It's later in the morning as we pick up past sunrise, when you would normally take off. Your horses are still tired and moderately exhausted after the extra night that they had. So, as the morning is late, the day hot and muggy, and the occasional dark cloud rolling in off of the northern bits of the Seratus Bay to your west and northwest. I ask unto you all, thank God finally, 8 days later, Evie and Liliana, Owen, Rom, Simon, Walker. What are you guys doing?
You forgot about the shark.
I said trials and tribulations.
But that we killed a fucking shark, like, come on!
That's a trial, I guess.
A 15-footer.
It was,
Yeah.
it was well over 1,200 pounds. It was an impressive shark.
Over 200 pounds?
That's like a
1,200
whole.
pounds.
That's like a whole 2 ROMs.
Hey.
Are you saying Rom is
Only
600
two?
pounds?
All decent.
I mean, I was going for the Amazonian effect. I guess I missed that one. God, that's a bad joke.
So, without Amari once more, and Rom certainly gonna be the talker, what are you guys doing?
Is this us waking up?
Yes, this is the next morning. After the watches are complete, it is later in the day than you would like, but... And the horses are still fucking exhausted, and, like... They're not in great shape.
It's canon that Owen was... Like, he was skipped in the watch order last night, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So he wakes up.
Hang on a second.
You know,
I think we actually covered a little bit what happened as we woke up at the end of last session, and that Owen was explicitly not making tea and tending to the horses in the morning.
You know what? I think you're right.
I think that's what happened. And I think Rom told us about the weird figure she saw in the fucking woods in the middle of the night.
Yeah, Shrek.
And one of... What do you mean? Owen was at the camp, sleeping.
What do you mean?
Anyway, I think, yeah, Mom told us about that, and then I think someone told her that she should probably wake one of us up next time.
Hey, that was me. I
Yes,
said.
that is about what I remember.
Hey.
Hey.
So I guess at this point, Walker is just getting things ready for the day, getting his bolts together, finishing up some other bolts that, you know, putting final touches on things, you know. No, he was getting everyone breakfast together, like as Marquez gave us rations.
Yes.
That's what he was doing.
So,
God, it's been
in
fucking
any
too long.
case, you are all able to, after a little while, pack up your camp, get the horses ready. They are not in great shape. Like, this has got to be a long day of travel. After how fast you went yesterday, you guys covered some fucking ground yesterday, but you also went late. You're traveling not as far, but also you're not going to have full speed on these horses.
Yeah, we're more or less... So, out of character speaking, I think our idea is, if everyone's looking at the map, more or less get around here, set up a base camp, find a place that's relatively hidden to keep the horses, and then begin investigating the actual fort. We may end up having to keep the horses on this side, because sneaking them through the fort, even if it's via the coast, might be very difficult.
I was going to ask, Ben, like, you know, I know none of us have really traveled this way before, but based on what Marquez told us and how far we've traveled, is it, like, are we able to estimate how far we have to go?
He said they were somewhere a day or so's travel, I believe, east of the fort.
I meant to the fort itself.
To the fort, at the rate you were going, you'll probably guesstimate about sundown, maybe-ish. Like, you'll probably make it today. Unless something severely hampers you, or, you know, you end up with a horse with a broken leg or something.
So in that case, Owen will be, you know, extra careful about, you know, checking things and making sure saddles are properly secured, you know, all that kind of thing. He's not interested in any accidents like broken horse legs.
Yeah. And for what you guys didn't have, Marquez would have supplied regarding saddlebags and things for them to carry. So you guys don't need to carry your things that you don't want to carry.
Did anyone have any thoughts on the idea that we might have to leave the horses behind after we get to the fort?
Would you like to bring that up?
Is that in character or out of character?
No, I was talking out of character, like, just ideas of what...
I can feel it. It's sliding into character now.
Might need to.
The answer is yes, William. But in character, I would like to respond to you.
Okay, I'm trying to think of the phrasing. So I guess as before, Walker's at the front, doing his best to keep Sherry going after she's both exhausted and a bitch and a half. So he stays relatively close to the others, so he can speak. We need to decide what to do with the horses after we get to the fort.
Well, I thought we were going to hatch our plan about getting through it once we saw it.
We do, but we need to consider the fact that we might have to leave them behind.
Well, we can't very well just leave them out here in the wilderness.
He'd likely be attacked by those alligators. Or found.
Can we spare anyone to keep watch of him?
I'd offer to do it myself, but somebody's got to. Well, they say that they're. Or Marquez said that they were injured.
I could stay with them.
That means you'd be staying alone here near the fort with 5 horses for potentially more than 2 days.
Yeah, and?
Might even be better to have, if one person's going to stay, it might be better to have 2.
She goes to the second.
We'll make final decision on this after we see the fort.
If we aren't able to take the horses past the fort, it's going to take us even longer.
Right.
Well, then why don't we get closer to the fort and see what looks like's going on there?
Right. Let's push forward. And then we do.
Alrighty, so you begin your travels. Anyone keeping watch? Perception check, please. If someone would like to guide the party,
limited?
I will allow a survival check to guide best you can.
Alright.
Is it,
I should mention that Evian's in the venue room.
Ben,
shall
is
we?
it, is the road wide enough to ride, 2 side by side, or is it not?
Yeah, you
wide
could.
enough?
I mean, you're getting to the point where it's mostly plains, and the road has become. It's less of an overt road the further you get, and more of just a rough desire path where, especially since you're on horseback, you're not going to be, like, getting cut up by sawgrass or anything like that in the ground. Like,
Makes sense.
you could ride 2x2 or even 3x3 if you want.
Would it help the horses, like, if Owen rides up front with Walker, to set a pace that's specifically not too much for them? Or would that not help?
It's... it's mostly they just... It's not that they need a pace, it's just that they're not gonna be... They're just not 100% today at all. Like, there's nothing you're really gonna be able to do. Like, keeping them at a trot or not riding them and just going at full walking pace, they'll be fine. More than that, you're not gonna get a lot out of it.
Alright.
So as far as the checks go, could Walker survival, Owen, Evian on the perceptions?
I rolled when Ben said some
Alright.
to roll.
So, Evian with a perception,
yeah,
I can have one more at the front of the group, and if someone wants to...
Van, I did that in private. Please let me keep it. Please, I did self-roll, please.
You know I'm not.
I'm gonna cry, Van.
These things
Sad.
happen.
I'm going to fucking cry.
For the recording that doesn't get to see private rolls, that was a natural 20 he just lost.
Yes, lost 10 points on that
Oh
roll.
no.
Fucking good job.
I fucking had it in private rolls because Vin made a big deal of me fucking rolling publicly for
Weren't
test
you
rolls
supposed
the
to
other night.
roll perception or survival?
Survival.
Owen
Okay,
was the
sorry.
second. Unless somebody else wanted to do it, I guess I
It
should
was
have.
Evie
all
and
good.
Owen.
Can
you guys are the
I?
watchers.
Can I keep a special eye out for swamp monsters?
For sure.
As you're leaving the swamp, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Cool.
I thought your eyes were special.
What if some of
anymore.
them come out of the swamp? She's got a point.
Great.
You begin your journey inland. From behind, Evian, you keep an eye on Rom, who is keeping more of an eye out than usual for things. Like, it does stick out to you as a little bit out of character for her. Oh, and making sure the horses are okay while trying to keep watch at the front. You just kind of... You keep an eye as much on the group as you do on anything that's coming from behind you. Other than that, after about an hour into your journey, you see the clouds begin to roll in. A massive, very dark front coming from the northwest. You can see maybe a mile or two out. You're moving directly into what looks like a pretty bad storm. You see as occasionally the large, billowing black clouds just kind of light up for a second with lightning, and you get that feeling of that muggy, strong rain smell that just begins to take over. And within about another half hour, a storm comes upon you.
Great.
I imagine as soon as the storm was obvious, Walker would have adjusted his belongings a little bit, making sure his less waterproof items are a little bit more towards the center of his bag, surrounded by the more waterproof things, things like that.
I'm sorry, continue.
I was just going to say, Owen would do something similar, but he would also say, people around him would hear him say, rain will be good. It'll help us get through unnoticed.
Well, at least there's that.
Walker nods.
So, the next few hours go by. They are miserable and muddy, and occasionally, Walker, you do your best you can now. You've given up trying to spearhead any sort of shortcuts or any sort of, like, cutting in between hills in these plains or anything. Now you're just trying to keep the party dry and away from mud. Which, for the most part, you do, though there are occasional slowdowns when one of the horses just kind of steps in and just slips into a bit of mud, and it takes a second for them to kind of get out, and it slows you down a bit. Not a lot, but a bit. The hours continue. The rain is hot and dark and miserable. Looking behind you, after that first hour, you're seeing the last bits of dying light of what was sure to be a horribly miserable Lenorian summer day. But what the rain takes away in beauty, it gives back in temperature as... You okay, Logan?
I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. I put my other mouth.
As you get to enjoy less in the way of temperature, it drops to probably 70s, maybe 60s. But for that first hour, the rain is very hot and helps just get everything kind of sticky and sweaty. And then eventually, it begins to cool you off and wash off the horses and yourselves, and you get just a little bit of that swampy feel washed off of you, better or worse. The plains here probably see a shit ton of water and a shit ton of rain because small standing lakes and ponds seem very, very plentiful, and they fill up very quickly. You see as frogs come out, and you can see worms just coming up on the path very quickly. The path that you occasionally come to divots in where it cuts behind a hill. You'll be maybe 6 to 8 inches deep in water, maybe a foot, and it seems to be flooding very quickly. But, Walker, you very quickly gather that there is a method to the apparent stupidity of the path that you guys are following. There are occasionally these large pillars, similar to 2x4s, that seem to be markers to make sure people have somewhere to wait in the event that they need to stay dry, or at least stay so they're not submerged for temporary amounts of time. There are hooks on many of them that look like they had lanterns or oil lamps or something at one time, but do not anymore. Many of them rusted, a couple fallen off. Occasionally you find downed trees, and you figure out exactly why these became plains in this rain. Trees just don't seem to be able to thrive this far close to the shore. Another hour goes by, and another. And Evian, as you scan the horizon in front and behind you as best you can, you spot moving towards you. Not directly, but if you're moving at a northern pattern with a bit of a right curve the way you're going, a bit of an eastern curve, this is moving a bit south-southwest. And you see it is a silhouette on horseback with a lantern on its belt.
Yeah. Said he's moving more west than
It's
us?
south-southwest. You're moving about northeast, they're moving south-southwest, so you're not on a collision course right now, but you are moving roughly in the same way.
Fuck, that's annoying. I'll let the rest of the group know that, there's a rider ahead coming from the fort.
Do I notice him?
Once he points it out, Owen, you immediately kind of snap. You're like, oh shit. Like, it wasn't even hiding, but like for just a moment, it seemed to have gotten to you, and you didn't notice, but now pointing it out, you do.
And he will in turn point it out to Walker if Walker doesn't see it either.
Does Walker notice upon Evian saying?
Yeah, you would both notice it.
Okay, thanks.
You would all notice it after he points it out for a moment. It's very faint. It's only when the lightning strikes that you can see the silhouette of a horse, but also the familiar sight of how the lantern kind of bobs from this person's belt makes it pretty obvious that it's probably a brigadesman.
Would we be able to avoid them somehow?
I mean, you're not currently on a collision.
So could we just like chill out for a bit and
Well,
But they would see us.
Yeah, we don't want him to see it.
Yeah, are you guys using light right now, or?
I don't
will
think
we need
anybody
to?
had any.
Have any light.
Unless we needed it.
Yeah, Walker was guiding the group, and he doesn't need light in particular.
So, in that case, you could attempt to hide further, wait, and hope that they pass. Whatever you want to do here.
So if we moved off to the side, is there any cover anywhere?
No,
So
you're
is
in
it just
plains.
Plains.
Is there hills?
I wasn't sure if there was maybe
Plains,
a big
and
hill we could
the
go
hills
behind
have
or
just about
something.
died down. You have been spending the majority of your day traveling at this point. You are-
That's annoying.
You are well onto the coast. Excuse me, no more than maybe an hour or two away from Fort Sydge.
Is there like
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's that's not ideal. Could we move off to the? If we're only an hour or two away from the fort, can we maybe move off to the side and find a place to, make a base camp or something? That would also be a spot where we could avoid these guys, riding out.
Like
and
into the
finding-
mountains?
Yeah, maybe a little closer to the mountains.
Yeah, if you want to head in that direction, you all can.
Fuck it. I mean, we might as well, just head off the path so A, we don't have to interact with this guy, and B, we have a base of operations.
Walker
Yeah.
will mention to the others, we should move off the path, move towards the mountains, see if we can find a place to set up camp for now, prepare what we're going to do, hopefully not interact with this rider.
Has he? You said it doesn't look like he spotted us, or
No,
we
just
can't
kind of.
tell?
They're just kind of slowly moving.
Must be about it.
We move away at a okay speed.
Begin to move away, and eventually it fades. Even you get the last eye on it as it kind of After maybe 5 minutes, you see it begin to turn and head back in the direction it was going.
Interesting.
Would it be a scout, maybe?
Probably just like a patrol. I imagine they patrol both sides.
Right.
That was supposed to be in character. I completely forgot I had a voice.
Oh, mine was not a character.
See, I can't tell with you because you never have a voice.
Hey, you know.
In that case, Owen responds. Even the scout wouldn't just turn around like that.
It was a slow turn, but it's worth.
People turn around. No, they only go so far.
Could just finish his patrol.
Like,
Yeah.
I do want to give you guys a drawing. It was kind of like that is how they were moving. Like, you guys kind of... As you guys kind of... That was the original path, and then you guys veered further to the right. Anyway.
Way to keep a lookout for any more.
Oh, keep an eye.
Keep an eye out, and you guys eventually make your way about another 20-30 minutes to this large mountainous range, the edges of which are still... You cannot see the top through the rain. They are very sheen and incredibly slick. They don't seem particularly climbable at a glance. Again, very, very sheen. A lot of them you're unable to really discern, but you don't see any sort of immediate caves or outcroppings or anything.
Could we take a moment to look for such a thing?
I'm sorry?
Could we look for such a thing?
Yeah, I mean, what direction, north or south?
Either.
Even just like an overhang where like
Yeah, anything that'd give us some kind of cover.
You head, you look a bit south and then a bit north, maybe 15 minutes in each direction, give or take. It is definitely sunset now because it is getting darker. Even with the storm, heavy as it is, you are losing what little light you had now. And, after maybe about 10-15 minutes moving north, you do find what looks like an old bear den, maybe? It is dirt, and currently it looks like it was dug out or something at one point, and then something else lived here. You could see the remains of what looked like a deer, maybe? At a glance, though they are old, they're just bones and a bit of fur. And it is filling up with water. It's like a divot that looks like it was, again, dug out a bit. And it has been filled up about a foot with water so far. It is the best thing you have found so far in either direction.
This might have to be it.
better than nothing.
And there's no chance there's anything still here, right?
Give me a nature check.
I was hoping for a go and look check.
Oh, I mean, no, you can look and see there's... Unless it's something
Right.
living
So nothing
in a
that might
foot of
return
water. Then
Go with nature before.
the nature check would be to identify whether or not it looks like it's active in any way, which doesn't look like it. It looks like wherever this was abandoned.
I don't think anything that ever used this would ever come back at this point. We should get things set up and then begin scouting.
Let's be about it. I'll see to the horses.
Well,
The horses, you may be able to fit like one under it along with you guys. So they
What
will...
about...
Now, if you
like-
guys aren't in there, you can fit them all, but it would be a bit cramped.
And would they be? You said there was water in there. Would they be like standing in water?
Parts of it. It's at like a bit of a decline. Like half of it, about 50% of this small divot overhang, has about a foot of water in it.
If we're going to scout fort, is there like can we just put the horses in there for now? Or like...
I mean, you could. They'd be standing in water or just outside of it. You guys. You guys doing?
I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. I don't think, you know, maybe for several days, just standing in the rain would, you know, piss off a horse. But I don't think for
they have not really given a shit so far, outside of occasionally stepping in a lot of mud.
I think they would just be grateful to stop moving. So
they're about at that point, yeah. Like.
All right. Let me ask you this question, Ben. Is there like around close to this place? Is there like a little meadow or something that Owen could set up like a little corral for them to graze while we go and scout?
You could, but then they wouldn't be hidden.
Balls.
Do you care about hiding them?
I guess I do for right now.
Again, you are very far off of where that path was, so unless something either came here looking for them or they wandered out, you could probably set up something for them to graze on.
How far can we see?
Not far, because it's pouring rain and now night. Well, sunset?
They can graze tomorrow or some shit.
I mean, you've got feed for them.
Yeah.
While Owen's dealing with the horses, Walker's going to scout the immediate area and make sure everything is relatively safe.
Anything in particular you're looking for, or?
No, just doing some the beginnings of our scouting here. Just make sure like I said, immediate area is safe. No obvious
Give me a perception check.
no obvious signs that people come this way. I know it'd be hard to do.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay, that works too. Same modifier. So, people coming around here, animals, frequenting this area.
What little you find for animal tracks is mostly small things. You find, like, vague evidence of, like, a torn-up bit of bark where it looks like some sort of critter probably climbed up a tree and fell or something, was running. But you don't find anything, no evidence of bears, no evidence of anything that seems like it would overtly threaten horses. So,
no crocodiles
being the survivalman you are, you would also know that this isn't the best time to be looking for that sort of stuff. So you would know that while there's no overt things, there are some things that you can't really find in the rain too well. Yeah, if you're worried about snakes or something like that, that's not something you're going to be able to solve hunting for in a pouring rain.
Right. Eventually Walker will return. And there was no signs of people on it, I'm guessing.
No.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything at the camp?
Actually, I have two questions for you, Ben. One of them is a lot more silly than the other one. But
okay, well, your call on which way.
So I'll go with the silly one first. So Owen has the ability to detect poison. Can I use that to sense the presence of snakes in my immediate vicinity?
Ooh. I like that.
It does say poisonous creatures. It does say you sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases.
So I think that would be on Owen's mind. Like, this is, snakes are our problem, right? So he would, while Walker's out scouting, he will use his naturalist feature to cast detect poison and disease.
Ooh, fun feature.
Poison and disease. All right.
Does he detect?
While you detect no poison, no immediate disease, you do detect that William is toxic as fuck.
Does he detect that William's also down with the sickness?
Does that mean that William is currently within 30 feet of Owen?
No, William's within 30 feet of you, Nick. Look out your window.
Oh fuck! Oh Nick, why are you looking this way? Go back to the game.
No. How long does it last? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
No, there is no immediate poison or disease, though. Blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
He would probably just walk a circuit.
Yeah, do
around
a little perimeter.
Yeah.
That seems okay. Yeah, no, nothing poisonous or disease-like immediately around. Seems okay.
And my second question is, Nick knows that it is possible to create a smokeless fire. Is that something that Owen could do or not?
I mean, sure you didn't just make that up.
It's a real thing. It has to do with the efficiency of the fuel.
All right, Nick. Sell me on it. How does it work?
So you have to. The fuel has to be dry, which it would, I imagine, be the biggest stumbling block in our current
factor here.
Yeah, situation.
All right, so we're 0 for 1.
But I mean, you can
keep going though. I mean, keep selling me on it.
I don't want to sit here and have to fucking argue.
I don't know how it works, so I don't know if you can do it.
Well, it's all about the efficiency of the fuel, right? So the more efficient the fuel burns, the less smoke is created. Smoke is created when it's a byproduct, right? If everything burns perfectly, then it's just carbon dioxide, I think, and something else that gets produced. So if I could get some really nice, wood, and set up a fire that way, then there won't be any smoke, or at least considerably less smoke than there would be if I just started burning drenched logs. If that makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, it is something that Owen would know how to do, I would say. But it is something that is not really possible at this moment, given the amount of rain, I would say.
Follow-up question. From where we saw that presumable guardsman on the brigadesman on the road, on the path, where is the cliff facing in relation to that? Can we have a fire in such a way that it's on the opposite side of a mountain to where
the mountain is set up in such a way that it is everything's pointed out, though this in particular is pointed mostly south, a bit southwest. So again, you can't say exactly how far, but probably at least a half hour away from Fort Sydge. But
I mean, a brigadesman that was where that guy would be able to see the light of a fire from. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. I'm out of smart ideas.
It was a good try.
Thanks, Nicole.
No So, did anyone else have anything they need to do during this time? All
Better
right.
believe him. Better believe him. Preparing creator to start water tomorrow, and that's all I'm saying.
Alex went from no internet to no voice.
No. I'm fine. I'm probably just, like, helping with whatever needs helping with. Otherwise, getting ready to, go scouting or keep watch. Whatever is required.
So, a little while later, it doesn't seem to be getting any darker. So it's very dark. There's very low visibility right now, but you guys are officially have something resembling a camp set up. Who just died? Cool.
So, I mean, we have people with prestidigitation. We could just dry some fuel.
Well, it would have been really nice if those people volunteered that information when I was spieling.
I don't have it.
One's not here, and fucking Logan sucks.
Okay, prestidigitation. Oh yeah,
You not?
I actually do. I do. I didn't see it.
Bro, imagine being a
Logan!
wizard that doesn't take prestidigitation, man.
I know, right?
Imagine.
I know. Did that. I mean, is Owen actively trying to do this, or was it all a conflict in his head?
It was-
can see. You can
Because that's
see.
the conflict, and you guys are like, Simon, why didn't you fucking do it?
You can see Owen as he makes his little perimeter. He's kind of got his hand out, and he's, it's almost like he's doing a metal detector thing, but with his palm. And as he does that, he's kind of just sort of casually gathering firewood, and he stacks it neatly in a corner, but he does not move to start a fire.
And the wood is wet, obviously.
Yes.
Well, that being said, Simon would go over to the wood and cast prestidigitation on it and dry it up.
It's quite the handy trick you've got there, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful in some ways, I guess.
Did it look like anything when you tried it?
I mean,
Was there a special effect of some kind?
I would say no. It was just lift his hand and the water slowly disappeared. It didn't warm up, it just disappeared.
Unfortunately, that still doesn't solve our light problem.
Does Owen say that?
It was thinking of starting a fire to dry us and the horses off, but I can make one without smoke now that you've done that, but it'll still be able to be seen from a fair distance away.
I mean, I can light a fire. I don't know about concealing one, though.
I can light the fire perfectly well without magic even, but problem is one of them brigadesmen spies us, come looking. Don't imagine they get too many visitors out here.
Are there, like,
Go ahead.
trees around? What are the surroundings like again?
Field.
Oh. Well,
I mean, you guys are currently up against a... you're currently up against a mountain, and it's mostly plains around you. With occasional bits of thicket of brush and things.
So there's almost like no way to hide the fire.
I mean, collect a bunch of brush, dry it off. You can do that. Though it's not going to burn for long, obviously.
What if we like use the brush as like a little, you know, we cut
Wall?
some brambles or whatever, yeah, and we pile up a little wall.
There's a
Like-
conspicuous pile of brush.
They're fucking who's gonna like they can't see that far, right? It's raining and dark and foggy and shit. Like, are we? Then let me ask you this: like, if conditions were clear, what's the terrain? Like, are we just? Is it just a flat plane of grass and then bam, giant cliff, or like, you know, what?
It's pretty close to that. Like,
Fuck.
it's the mountain.
I
Like
don't
I said,
know,
it's
bro.
very. Like I said, it's very sheen.
I don't know what you want me to do, man. Like,
No, it's not. No, I'm just trying real hard.
I mean,
I can't just like cast wall.
Nick's getting upset.
don't
Why didn't you
steal
take
Nick's
wall
joke.
on your level up?
Don't steal Nick's joke, William.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm sorry I stole Logan's joke, okay?
Anyway, so with that,
Oh, actually, hold on. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. Owen, he looks kind of like longingly at the wood, and then he just looks back to Simon and says, "Could you do that for all of us? Leastways the horses."
Yeah, and then he makes everyone dry,
Nice.
Is Walker back yet?
and then we get immediately wet because isn't the inside water filled?
I mean, about
Water
half of it is, but only about 6 inches to a foot
The idea is anybody who's not going scouting can, you know, be
in the dry
at least a
area.
little more comfortable.
Also, do we talk for going scouting in the day and the night, or have we not talked about it yet?
I think we did. We said we'd go at night. That way we don't get seen.
That is
So-
all. Fuck with that.
Well, personally, I can no longer see in the dark.
Yikes.
Is Walker back yet?
Can
yeah,
you?
Walker is back.
I can do some things.
That's not what I asked.
Where is everybody when Walker gets back?
Everyone is dry
Huddled
inside.
together,
Yeah.
in the
Staying dry.
We can notice that we are all perfectly dry.
Standing back to back for some body heat.
So anyway,
So I had to look around. Seems there's no signs of large creatures. Probably no horses coming out this way either. Though it is raining, so I could have missed something. Either way, should probably get going.
Are we all
Begin.
to go?
Probably not all of us, save for only a couple.
Amari speaks up and mentions that he can keep himself and the horses dry. At least as best he can.
I'd be happy to go and take a look, but bit of a klutz, if I'm honest. Never was much good at staying quiet.
Rain should drown out any noise you make.
As long as it's nighttime, I have a few tricks up my sleeve.
What does that mean? You're going to need to say what that means.
I mean, magic, I guess.
Of what kind?
Just make
Everything
me-
I've seen from you has been pretty bright so far, which is kind of the opposite of what we're
I
wanting
mean,
here.
it's kind of the opposite of everything you've seen, I guess. It makes me a little more darker. You can't see me at night.
You can do something to make yourself darker.
Yeah, but I can only do it at night, though.
Even just looks at it.
I'm not sure what that means.
Liliana's just like
Like, that's
looking
it.
very confused. Like,
I just blend into the shadows better.
Like, can you make yourself invisible like Amari does?
Not fully invisible. It's just more or less, you won't be able to see me at night.
Well, as for myself, I am only marginally stealthy, so I suppose if it's not critical that I go, then I ought to stay.
I'd like to get to look at the fort myself, but I suppose the same is true for me.
Mari, how many people can you make invisible? Just one?
He ponders for a second and then nods. Though he does also bring up that it's not going to last for an incredibly long amount of time, so he'd probably have to follow you to the fort, just in case.
I'm not the most stealthy, but I have good eyes.
I can use magic to take the sound out of a small area. That's about it.
Not sure if that'll be needed with the rain.
I suppose. Oh, it kind of chuckles. I suppose if we can find a bit of grass to hide in, I could make it grow around us.
Right. I'll be going. Who is coming with me?
I'll
I'll
come.
go.
I'll come.
I'd like to go as well.
Alright then.
I'll stay back once we get closer.
Then let's head off then.
So, you guys begin following the mountains. Who is staying? Just Amari?
Is it just Amari?
I think Amari and Rom.
I mean,
Rom, are you going or not?
Rom is not super stealthy, so if being stealthy is important, she probably ought to stay.
I mean, Owen's going.
Owen's
So,
going.
Yeah.
And Evian's going.
Evian's not as loud as Owen.
Evian.
I mean, you don't have
Well,
water.
then she'll go at least as far as Owen does.
Alright. So, you guys begin following the mountains where they come out of the ground further and further in, and eventually you see a large wall about 10 feet tall, and beyond it you can hear the sounds of movement along with a couple of scouts. One on horseback currently moving up and down the path. You're maybe... How close did you want to get?
Within eyesight, I guess. While also being...
So, I will go ahead and give you guys a map for this, then.
Once we get close enough, like, how close are we time-wise from, like, entering the...
You'd be a couple hundred feet away at this point.
Oh, shit.
I
Then
believe our
I'd
camp
cast,
is like an hour and a half away from the actual...
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Once we get... William? Sorry.
I said I'm pretty sure our camp is like an hour and a half away from...
It was about an hour or so, though you did have to kind of crest around, and at its smallest, it's maybe 50 or 60 feet from the beach coast to the mountain. Like, while before, Owen and Nick, you pondered why they would set it up out here and not use the swamp as a natural barrier. The incredibly small amount of room that there actually is between the mountain and the beach seemed to answer that for you. That for military purposes, this seems much more of a ability to cut things off.
So once we get, like, about where we are right now, I'd cast my Crescent Cloak.
Alright.
And you'd see a silvery shadow dance around me. It would almost blend into the rain. And it would dissipate, and I would just... Should I make a stealth roll right now, just to see?
Yeah, go ahead.
Plus 10 is 27.
And you see, as he seems to be absorbed into the rain, as if the cloak that he wears is invisible. If you didn't see him disappear, you probably would have no idea where he is.
Handy.
Man, I wish I could do magic.
Oh. What are you guys doing?
I mean, are there like torches on the walls?
Yes,
or anything, or is
on
it
the
just like
left
a-
and right entrance to this wall, you do see torches. There are two people sitting on stumps. You can see they have... One of them has a torch, looks like probably that scout from before, and there were a couple of torches lit on the path leading up. Though it looks like the person on horseback has gotten off their horse and is now sitting on one of the stumps as well. You can't make out a lot from inside, though it does sound like there's some commotion.
And now,
On the
does
beach
it-
side... I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
On the beach side, you can see a boardwalk that comes out some 150, 200 feet, only because of the lights set to it, and it goes out into this small lake, if you will. Some ways. There is a... on the left-hand side, near the terminus of the wall, there is a small reinforced... I don't know the best way to describe it, but battlements, if you will, and it does get a bit larger up at the top, though you do not see anyone in it. It seems people
So
are...
like a short tower.
Yes, people do seem to be heading for cover at this time.
Alright. Anyone who doesn't feel confident in not being seen should stay back. And Walker's gonna begin skulking forward.
So
Do you want to, what do you go? Do you want to agree on the signal if something goes wrong?
Walker pauses, thinks. What'd you have in mind?
Don't know, a whistle or something? I don't expect... We're not here to fight, but... just in case.
If it's just one of them, I can
Good
also
idea.
put him to sleep as well.
Ideally, we don't want them to know we're here at all.
Right. Suppose a whistle would work. Though that would also alert them.
Can you make it sound like an owl or something?
Yeah, have we heard any bird calls or anything?
Not of late, but you would know that, an owl is not a strange thing to hear around here.
Can Owen make an owl sound? Is that a thing he can do?
Roll for it. Roll for it.
Convincing
Natural
owl
one. You're screaming who?
I will say yeah. I'll say yeah, you can.
Can anyone else make a convincing owl?
I'm sure Walker can as well,
Okay.
if he needed to.
As he goes, Owen will kind of look up at Walker and kind of gesture to his charm, and then raise an eyebrow. Do you wish to go with a blessing?
If you think it would help.
Owen smiles, and just as he did many moons ago outside of a certain goblin cave, he steps up to Walker and puts his hand over his heart and murmurs, "Keep him safe." And he will cast guidance.
Now it's been a long time. Out of character's been a long time.
I didn't know whether that was a Walker.
Yeah, I wanted to specify to not be a dick.
This one.
Alright, so...
As soon as Owen is finished, Walker will kind of nod and turn back and begin skulking some more.
Alright, give me a stealth check, please, Walker. And Simon, you are moving forward as well?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You do add a d4?
Fuck.
Oh,
That's good.
He's
Oh, good
just
thing it's-
standing in the
Good
way.
don't
thing it's
see me.
rainy and dark.
Very good thing. Alright, you and Simon begin heading forward. Simon, where to?
I guess I'll follow him because I can't see anything.
You start
This is
following
super far.
Walker as you
can
cannot
see
make out
anything.
anything.
Are these rocks? What
That is
on?
part of the mountain, yes.
Yes,
I
yeah.
can't see. I
tell.
can't see at all. Then it's very dark.
By design!
All I'm saying is my character would be able to see a mountain.
Give me a second. I think I can give you more vision.
Please do.
What's that little fire off to the left? Is that just kind of
A torch?
Is that a torch? Or?
Ah, thank you.
There, you got more vision.
Actually, very helpful.
Can I get more vision?
I love how we were just off them though.
Dang.
I have dark vision, so
Yeah.
I know.
And what you see is that the wall seems to continue. It does terminate about here into what looks like a large, semi-large building. The wall itself isn't incredibly impressive, maybe 10 feet and made of cobblestone, though well built. You can see the two guards off to the left that are sitting there are currently, one of them has a horse next to them, and they are playing some sort of game. You can see them, they're kind of laughing as they're kind of throwing rocks back and forth. And then you eventually hear, oh fuck, I owe you for that one.
Love to see it.
we just have some mountains or a building over here. So
Yes,
time
it does seem to go
walk this way.
into, pretty much to the edge of the mountain.
So Walker will begin making.
Simon not seeing that. Simon seeing Walker just walk away without saying anything will follow.
Walker's
Alright.
being very quiet. Like he's not really saying anything at all. No direction.
You guys head back towards your camp.
Gil. Start moving this way now.
My God.
So I guess I can see you.
Cool, let's go.
Gonna wide berth around the fucking dumb.
And you get to the beach.
What was the funny ruler method you could do?
Use
Oh, I made a
ruler and then space. And then you just press space.
Can you delete the?
Yeah, no
circle?
problem, I got it.
Thanks.
So, you continue up, and you can see where it terminates into yet another...
Walking the beach together.
Oh, there's no legit way around this, huh?
I mean, how deep's that water?
I mean, it's a beach.
Can I look like at the water and kind of see if there's like sand immediately underneath it?
Yeah, it does seem to be a genuine beach. It probably is... It seems to be
The wall-
a couple feet deep at
The
a
wall
glance.
just ends?
Probably within another 5 feet, it seems to be about 5 or 6 feet.
Or if I took like a step out, like right here or whatever, could I see?
You would be up to about chest high, like almost
then I
like
would not
almost
be-
like shoulder high in the water at that point.
And not quite that far then. Can I get an idea of like what's around this building? Like if we chose to like swim through?
Give me a perception check. Around this building?
Yeah.
It seems that there, like, kind of like, there is, you can see the top of another building just beyond it about here that you make out.
Damn, actually getting fucking. That would suck.
How high is this?
The tower
Like how
about
tall?
18 feet or so, and it does expand outward to about twice that size at the top.
Walker, I could get up there.
What?
Like
What?
on top of the building, I could get up.
How?
Missy step, just disappear and reappear up there. I wouldn't make any sound. It would be gone, and then I'd be up there.
If someone's up there, they'll probably see you.
I mean, you can barely see me now, can't you? I'm standing right next to you.
Do I see him?
I mean, yeah, you can see him, but you can definitely see magic that is doing a very good job concealing him.
You know, I was there because I'm speaking to you, but probably I was just
like if he was trying to hide from you, even you'd have a very difficult time trying to find him right now.
If I just appeared on the wall, they wouldn't see me. I mean,
though you also haven't seen any light or anything coming from the top of that tower, so.
Yeah, like, can I get, like, listen for a moment, see if I hear any signs of people in and around that bit?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Can we roll my next 3 just preemptively?
You don't hear anyone. You can hear a couple people yelling something out, echoing off the water. Sounds like it's coming from the end of the dock.
Where's the dock? Oh, I just saw the dock for the first time.
Yeah, you can see a bit of it right there. But it seems like it's coming from much further into the water over that way.
Oh, shit. Alright, give it a try, but be careful.
Then, before I do this, if I use misstep, will it cancel out my cloak?
No.
Okay, then
No,
I will...
I don't believe either of those are concentration. We're good.
Okay, then I'll misty step up top.
You bamf up to the top. Would be here.
I can't see anything.
And give me a perception check to see how much you can see from up here. As you use your second level spell slot.
Yeah, I just realized.
I will say from this vantage point, let me go ahead and give you more vision. This is what you are able to make out for current vantage. Actually, you would also be able to see. So I'm going to go ahead and move you for just a second, because you'll be able to see about that much as well. There is a large building over here. This looks like stables over to your right. You can see a couple of other guards currently tending to some horses in the stables. There are a couple of guys under a tree sitting, looks like they're eating dinner or playing cards or something. You can't exactly make out. A couple of guys cleaning up on what looks like a beachside campfire further down. And on the far side, you can barely make out a much larger wall with a huge portcullis that is currently shut.
I can see I can see that in the portcullis, yeah.
And a small smithy up next to it.
So swimming probably won't be an option because of the docks.
Any other questions?
No, I can look over to Walker right now, right?
Yeah, from where you are, you can kind of move to the...
Walker would probably be kneeling near the, like, just outside the water to try to keep his visibility low.
So, I will point at Walker and cast message and update him on all of that. Can I like, send
I need
William
you to tell me
a
what exactly you're
screenshot?
saying.
Tell him what you're saying.
Can I see everything again? Can you move me back to so I can update him and everything? Just past the docks, there are 2 people working on some type of like a boat. Are they busy? Are like
yeah, they look busy. Like they're
on?
cleaning up a camp. Like they were having like dinner on the beach or something. Though you do note everyone you see is in Antellier uniforms. They're all in bridesmen.
Okay, well, they're all bridesmen. 2 people under the tree, directly in the middle of the area. 2 people in the stables, directly to the right. And what's this guy? Like, what's up with them?
He's currently standing over an overhang. Looks like his job is currently to stand guard.
Okay, so he's on top of a building.
No, he's under an overhang keeping dry.
Oh, I think he's on top of one. Okay.
No, he's like under the overhang. There's the large entranceway right below him. He seems to be keeping an eye out for.
Okay. There seems to be 7 people. Do we have any idea of how we want to get people through? 'Cause the water's... I don't think we can get through the water. The docks.
That's something he's saying to Walker?
Yeah. what's the plan on the people here?
We'll have to talk about. Just return for now.
Okay, and then Simon will go to the edge, and before I get down, because I know how I'm gonna get down.
There is on this side. There's a ladder. Like, there's a ladder up and down.
Oh, wait, is that? Can you move me over so I can see what's
Oh,
around?
I'm sorry. I keep this vision stuff's fun.
Yeah.
Right here, there's a ladder going down. I didn't
That's the
map
opposite side of
the
the wall.
second level for everything, so yeah, like, because like you will be on the tower now. It's one block out. I just mapped the base, but yeah, there is a ladder going down right here. If you wanted to come down on that side,
I don't want to get down on that side, Ben. Still talking to Walker here. Are we done for tonight, or what are we doing?
Just return for now.
Okay, and Simon. Oh shit! How should I do this?
Doesn't your special spell give you some movement as well?
It does, but it negates it. And
yeah, the spell ends once he uses
I have
it.
to leave after that.
You
So
could ask
yeah, I
Walker
guess
if we're
Simon.
done.
I did ask Walker if we're done.
Did
and
you?
Yeah, I did. I said, "Are we done here, or like, what's the?"
Yeah,
move?
well, I mean, Walker said we're returning.
Okay.
Didn't he?
And
What'd I say? What the fuck?
He
Just come back for now?
Yeah, he said come back for now. Are we done? Are we? Yeah.
I guess if you want to ask for specification, you could.
Well, if I get down, I'm done for tonight with scouting.
That's fine. Let's just return.
Okay, and Simon will use the movement part of the spell. Simon will just disappear from the top and reappear normally 60 feet behind you. So he wouldn't be there. He would be actually
He'd be at the very edge of Walker's vision.
be here.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost here.
And Walker's gonna begin returning to the others, avoiding the torches.
All right. So you return back to the others from your scouting mission.
There we go.
Apparently unseen, but also mostly because you were so far away. Thank God.
Yeah.
And you recant this information to them.
It's not good.
Is there anything that we saw, like, in the torchlight while they were gone?
You saw two guys throwing rocks at each other?
Interesting. That sounds
That's
like an evening
about it. You
pastime.
could see a couple more torches moving throughout. Like, you could tell there were a couple of people at least moving throughout, but, you get the sense that these guys really don't enjoy doing their job in the rain. Like,
This might be a better question to ask,
Who
like,
does?
in daylight. But is there anything that Owen can glean from this place, like, military speaking?
Militarily?
Like, he was a soldier, so is there
in
anything
what
that stands
context? Like,
out? Like, I mean, again, this might be a better question for the morning when he can actually see, but, like, are the walls a certain way? Are
the walls to
there
the
gaps in
south are
patrols?
definitely not reinforced. They are there mostly to funnel people into a certain area. They could probably, like, they're single-layer cobblestone walls. They're very tall, but they're not incredibly strong. They're not built to withstand a siege or anything from within. Whereas, other than that, there's not a lot you can glean in the pouring rain and a storm, but again, much like what they have gathered, you would gather that the cover granted to you by a storm is a very good time to try and sneak through something.
I see.
They do seem to be very lazy, though. Like, everyone's just kind of sitting around that you've seen, the couple people.
They're not expecting to get attacked.
No, they do not seem like they would ever expect to get attacked from inside.
As seeing the cogs turn in Owen's head, Simon would say, "There's 7 people in the court, scattered throughout it, from left to right. Everything's covered."
Could be more in the buildings.
There most likely
I
is.
mean, yeah.
Actually, that is something you would know militarily. Owen is, yeah, people generally sleep at night, and there are less guards.
Gee, thanks. Man.
So, again, this
No
is something
way.
else that more ideal at night. There are probably going to be more guards during the day that are going to be doing things and are up and active. Other than that, what you guys make out, there is a second floor to the large main fortress that is up against the mountain, and part of a third floor. There are no windows in the fortress at all that you see.
So we gotta get the people through here too, right?
We
Yep.
do.
Fuck.
Which doesn't seem very possible
It does not.
without anyone in the fort knowing.
I don't suppose there's any way to talk our way through.
I don't know. Mark has mentioned the idea of paying them off,
Motion
but
to run.
no idea if that'd work.
Does anyone have any skill in
Well,
forgery or something? Mayhap we forge a bounty for one of these people, and somebody's got a writ for magic for bounties, right? That's give us an excuse to bring him back alive.
but that wouldn't explain all of them.
Aye, well,
Be additional people captured, but even at that, they would see all of us going through. They would most likely remember a vague description of us. It would match exactly what those other agents knew.
There's also Drawbridge, or what's the name for that venom?
Portcullis.
Portcullis, thank you.
it just seems to me, from what you're all saying, that getting all of us through, even one way, unseen, is going to be difficult.
I don't know how skilled Amaru is with his magic, but if we all came back here tomorrow or even later tonight, and he made each of us invisible one at a time, we could just go through the water, be on the other side.
So you're saying just swim in the shallow?
That's what I'm saying.
You want to go under the docks?
Van, how big could those docks be?
I mean, it's larger than a fishing dock.
And how are you
You-
planning?
10 feet?
Through what you guesstimated, maybe at the end there is a small pier, and you saw a small, like, 5-6 person boat on the end of it, though you couldn't make out any detail.
Would it be hard to swim underneath a dock?
Oh no, God no.
I would say, like, I imagine
You could
like
just
you could
crouch under it.
yeah.
I mean, how are we gonna do that stealthily though, Walker?
Being invisible.
Being invisible doesn't stop sound from happening.
I can
Well,
do
it's
that.
still raining.
You can do what, Owen?
I told you I can stop the sound.
For how many people?
It's not for people, it's an area. I can do it in an
Oh.
area.
Even at that, it's still raining.
Well, it also might be strange for anyone inside to suddenly not hear anything.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I think that sneaking through would remove the potentially very complicated human element, so to speak.
But we'd still have that coming back.
And related, but at the same thing, something like you can see through the portcullis. Like, in the event that you need to misty step or something, you could go through it that way.
That's good knowledge.
So Simon could teleport through if he needed
I'm
to.
just pointing
I'm
out,
gonna say fuck
just
you.
in case he can't. Like, it is not. Like, it is not impregnable by any means.
Right, Misty stuff can pass.
There it is. There it is.
Finally, relevance.
If these people are injured, they're unlikely to be able to, I mean, depending on how bad it is, they're unlikely to be able to make the swim.
We have 3 healers here. Can
I
probably
can't fix a broken
help
arm
him.
with magic, Simon.
You're right.
Evian.
Yes, sir.
You see something interesting out of the corner of your eye from where you are.
Oh.
You see a very faint light moving.
Like towards us? And in what direction?
Not towards you. It comes out of... You see it like it comes out of the larger fort-like building and seems to move towards the... just from where you can see, where you guys can kind of like get to see the central courtyard with the small...
Here?
You see it about here.
Okay.
Meeting at the... Yeah. It is some sort of small arcane light on the end of a staff.
Ooh.
Oh!
Oh, yikes.
We might have to back
That's
up.
definitely
There's,
out of the ordinary.
Magic. And I would point that out. The direction of said magic.
I look that
Suspects
way
are
as the
like-
bird flies in our faces.
Wait, that's not. He makes the signal.
Oh god, the familiar! It's the wizard's familiar!
Sorry, that was the squeaky window. Sorry.
Oh!
Don't call your bird Squeaky Window, that's rude.
She put Yuki to bed already.
Yeah.
She
Stop making
crushed
fun
him
of
in a
me.
squeaky window?
Oh no.
She put him to bed alright.
That's one way to put him to bed.
Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway. You do recognize it as some sort of arcane light on the end of a staff. Moving and currently, like, again, you can't make out anything about this person, but they seem to be interacting with the two guards that are sitting at the small table under the tree.
Well, as I said, I will point that out to the group, and I will continue to describe to the group what he is doing, if need be.
A moment later, gone. Walking back in the direction of the fort, you lose sight behind the wall.
What does that mean? That they have mage or something here?
Well, it must be. There's no other reason for it.
You could have an item that makes light.
I suppose.
A couple moments later, you see the two guards that were sitting there come forward into the light, speak to the two that were already there. The two that were there begin to head inward.
Is this like a changing of the watch, or is
So it
something
looks like,
weird
yeah.
happening?
It looks
Okay.
like a changing of the watch. They speak for a couple minutes, and then the other two head off.
So they've switched.
Well, it looks like, yeah.
Okay.
I've been so excited for this. I have like fucking patrol patterns. I've so much stupid.
Well, I hope you're ready for us to sit here scratching our heads for the next hour.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I think at any point there might be a pass to the mountains, or is it just straight cliffs?
They are.
Like,
There are occasional, like as you can see here, there is some rubble and things that can be climbed up, but it is very tall and it gains height very quickly. Better of the rain. But you can see where the cliffs are very hazardous. You would get a sense that, yeah, they probably are fairly confident no one's stupid enough to climb them.
That's where
well,
they're
I'm
wrong.
extremely stupid. If someone were to get up there, would it be feasible to like drop a rope down and help others up?
To the top of the mountain?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm assuming it's not 3,000 feet up the entire way, you know?
no, it's probably... Each level's
But, like-
probably between 10 and 20 feet up.
So yeah, that's not bad.
So it banks up to about, I'd say the higher peaks that are right here are probably about 400 feet at most.
That's not bad at all. We can do that.
Yeah, but is there ledges conveniently at every 15 feet?
Not really.
Isn't that-
Again, the mountains here are very sheen, and also it's raining.
That's what I mean.
I meant more in daytime would probably be, or not daytime when it's not raining.
I feel like daytimes are nighttime during the rain's the best option.
Still doesn't
I'm-
explain how we're going to get back.
It doesn't. That's the problem. If we could... If any of us knew how to sail, we could, put together something. Take everyone across via the ocean.
I mean, surely a small rowboat is not too difficult. Can it?
It won't be difficult to make as long as there's wood.
Hmm.
It would
But
take
it'd
time,
be
though.
navigating the sea and not being seen. If we sailed at night, then that would be, well, dangerous. We could use the board itself as a landmark to get around, but we'd probably have people on the water looking. We heard some people over, at least on the boardwalk.
Well, and not to mention Marquez is expecting us back within a certain time frame.
Then what was that time frame? What was it, like a week at this point?
It was about a week, yes. Though he did say he would bullshit as long as he could.
I guess we'll keep them as long as possible, but he is going to expect us back at some point. Ben, is the plan that we meet him back in the fucking city? That he
Back
was
at the banks.
at the banks of the...
The beach by Arya,
Yeah.
So what?
where he dropped us off.
He
Based on-
he
or is it just, like,
though
go
this
there
was
every
not
night?
mentioned on screen. He did say if you guys weren't there, he would send a scout to Arya, one of his guys, to see if you guys were there. Again, to buy time, but
Right. I think there's something to the idea of going across swimming right now and then boating across on the way back. But I have no skills when it comes to sailing.
I just don't want us to end up in a situation where we're easily able to sneak out and unable to get back in.
Right. Then, how many boats would it take to get, like, 25 people back in? Like, three? Three
yeah,
decent-sized boats?
that's a lot of people.
Yeah. To build 3 rowboats?
Yeah, those would be very large rowboats.
Yeah. Would that be, like, really easily seen?
In the daytime, yeah.
But at night, it'd probably be much harder.
Again,
Unless they
for
have-
visibility, you're in best case scenario right now.
At the moment, but there's
Yes.
no guarantee it's going to be
Yeah.
raining when we're on our way back. Fucking Mitchell. Just go all the way around.
Just going grind on
Go through the
enemies in the
desert.
Southcast Plains till you can get sending to call fucking Lokar to get you back there.
Sure, because that's how your game works.
No. Just grind, create, like... Grind until next level so Owen can, like, multi-class Druid and get that good berry so we can just walk through the desert forever.
No problem.
Oh, not good berry. Fucking create food water. For level 5. Anyway.
Absolute genius. I vote
We
we do
already
it.
did that in Monday campaign.
Sucks,
Don't want
we're
to
doing
do
it
it again.
Tough luck.
Yeah, well, we'll give Owen shit for his fucking food tasting bland.
Butter up,
No.
sunshine.
That would be a nice change.
You can give him shit.
The thing is, though, then Simon and Amari could just make it all taste good with prestidigitation.
Done.
Wait, why didn't they do that with the pimmican? Those assholes.
With the what?
With the pimmican.
Simon tried. I think Simon tried, but he had water like a dickhead.
No, using magic to do it, he never did.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Anyway, what are you guys doing? You have camped out, you are watching the... One of the guards begins speaking to the other one over there.
Let's kill him.
Jesus, dude. If we decide to use visibility to get through tonight, then what are the... Well, someone will have to... We're gonna have to leave someone with the horses? It didn't seem like there were many big animals that way. If we found a way to keep them around that area. They might not be found, though. There's always a chance that they might be found.
Someone should stay with the horses if we're leaving them behind.
Person would be on their own for, what, 4+ days?
Aye. Are you
You
sure
hear-
there's no way to talk our way through, though?
I have no idea.
If we could do that, then we could take the horses with us. No one would have to stay behind.
I have no idea.
I mean, realistically, what's the worst that happens if we try?
They know someone's here and they'll have fight
Lose the
security.
element of
Sure.
surprise.
I mean, what do we know about the border? Do people like go back and forth whenever they want?
Oh no,
No
no
one
one is
goes
allowed
south
out
this
of the
way.
country normally.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like
This, at a glance, this is something mostly would be apparent to, again, Owen, but this does seem to be a self-sufficient fort.
Like they
Like-
do fishing off the docks to keep themselves fed.
On top of that, they obviously, based on the information that Simon and Walker were able to get, they probably do have people who head back and forth to Aria or even further to get things occasionally, but they do seem self-sufficient, and again, a blacksmithy, a mage, all of these things together mean that this place can probably handle being on their own for some time if they need to, or whatever information that's worth.
I think it would just be much less complicated if we didn't have to try to get through.
I mean, we have the idea I had, but is there any other option? We need
If we
come up with
get
an
out
idea.
there and these people are unable to travel, we're not going to get back in anyway.
That's the idea we need to consider. With every way of going out, we need a way back in. My only thought in coming back in would be through boats. Would it take 25 people? 3 pretty big boats. Especially if they're rowboats.
To take too
In
long
which-
to make boats.
Hey, Ven. How long would it take me to make a boat if I had all the wood at hand?
You mean like a full-on like fucking a Tom Hanks raft?
How
Yeah.
about a 2-person rowboat? Like a small canoe.
I mean, a rowboat is a lot more complicated than a raft.
Yeah.
Okay, just like a raft that could hold 2 people.
Like, a raft, like... Again, it's not complicated. You take logs and tie them together.
Right, but we're going to a place called the Southcast Plains. Are there sufficient logs on a place called the Southcast Plains?
I mean, there is the
Probably not.
northern reaches of the Miswheeled Wilds.
So how long would it take to make a boat? With like some dumb labor from the others?
With a lot of labor and help, and a lot of tying, and...
Like we have a lot of like we also
You
have
could
potentially
probably
maybe like
make rafts for, like, a couple people, I'd say. You could probably make, depending, 2 or 3 a day. They're gonna fit a couple of people.
Okay, so we could make those in one day and then just ferry people back and forth, right?
over our night maybe.
Assuming we don't get spotted.
Yeah.
Assuming we don't get spotted.
maybe take a day to make a couple rafts, 2 or 3. It would take some back and forth, but it all hinge on not being spotted at that point. Had to be at night. It's possible. The question is if it's feasible.
No, there's so much we don't know.
Then-
Hesitation.
Yes?
On the waters, would there be fog on the waters around here or no? Would that be like a thing that, like...
Yeah, there may be. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
So if they just saw a fog cloud rolling through, they wouldn't question it.
I mean, after a storm, like the next morning, when, if there's like, you know, normally... I'm not going to explain the intricacies of how weather works, but fog is not uncommon after a storm.
But
If they saw
at
the
night-
same fog cloud going back and forth 6 times, that might be a little suspicious.
Yeah.
With a conspicuous sign poking out of it that says no bad guys here.
Yeah.
Nothing
There would also-
duplicitous going on.
Must be a matter if we need the light from the fort to guide us, and through fog that might be hard to see.
Try.
Whatever we do, we have to go back and tell Amari.
Alright. Hesitation could prove fatal here, especially with conditions right now. If we wait too long, we most likely won't have this. We won't have the benefit of the rain.
Don't want to just leave the poor lad without telling him where we've gone.
It won't take too long to inform him. I mean, if we wait past tonight.
I mean, if everybody wanted to start working on something, I could go run back as fast as I can and try to...
I don't know what there'd be to work on. My plan hinged on Amari being here. And if we do this, who stays behind for 4 days?
If it's for that long, you might want to leave some people behind.
You see a little bit more movement, Evian. A couple of guards coming from the direction of the beach end up setting up shop at the under the tree. It's a little bit drier, but not incredibly so.
Like, close to us?
No, that
Like,
same tree.
All the way back. Okay, same tree.
They're just making it out through the edge of the if I give it you enough, actually. Yeah, that is barely, but yeah, you can vaguely make it out right there.
Oh yeah, fucking barely. Is that a tree? It looks
Yeah.
like a bench. Oh, it's under the tree. I
Yeah,
see.
the bench is under the tree.
Yes, that makes sense.
I was like, that doesn't look like a tree, that looks like a stool and a table.
And there are a couple of guys sitting at it that came from the direction of the... You guys doing?
Well, if you want, I can head back and send Amari over. And then I'll stay with the horses.
Well, there's also the matter of, I mean, I don't know about you all, but I didn't bring all of my gear on the scouting mission.
Neither did I.
Are you going to be able to get across with all of your...
At the very least, I'm going to need my doctor's bag.
Is your doctor's bag waterproof?
No, it's not.
I mean, Simon.
I could always,
Murray
yeah,
just
clean
drive
it out.
Right?
Yeah, as soon as we cross over, I can make sure everything's dry and fine.
And I suppose there's also the matter of my armor.
I could carry that. If you want.
If you have specific things that can't get wet, I have a few little waterproof bags.
He watches one of the guards, takes a piss, and then goes back to his post.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
Long is
nice
it?
cock.
Like, how long does that? Has he been hydrating?
Probably.
Oh my god.
How big's it? How much girth does it pee?
Alright.
Stop.
now.
We then watches the
Please.
guard, gives himself some TLC, and returns to the rest.
No.
A moment later, a third guard shows up. Walking.
So what are we doing? Returning,
Them.
informing Amari, deciding.
We can
think
bring
so.
Storm on the way back. Might as well. Might be the best idea.
Let's get moving. We can't waste too much more time. Is there any sign of this rain letting up?
Doesn't look like it
Wait.
anytime soon.
Wait, I have a thing for this.
Oh
God.
no.
You
Oh no,
got
it's
the
happening
word
again.
Oh God, no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Hold on. I've actually never
Oh.
used this before.
Oh shit, here we go.
Da, 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 da. Okay, I'll do it once we get back to where the horses are.
Okay.
You're not going to cast light right here in front of everyone in the church? Or the
I'm not gonna use magic on the way to the fucking, or in anywhere close to the fort.
Right.
Right, so you guys eventually head back, making your way back to Amari and the horses.
So, out of character, Omari uses spell points for his bullshit,
He does.
but he has actually second level spells. Oh,
He
that'd be
does.
third level. Shit, never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say like if he upcasted stealth or invisibility and cast
He
it on
can't
two
upcast
people.
a third though.
Yeah, I forgot. Fuck no. I forgot what level stealth was. Stealth?
Invisibility.
Invisibility was for a minute. Yeah, no. How many times can you total cast invisibility? Does he have spell slots? I mean, we got a long rest, and I don't think he's done anything, right?
No, he has a. No, it doesn't look like it. So he can cast it.
3 times?
And like Simon could use his own spell.
Double checking.
It wouldn't be 3 times because
He can cast it like 5 times.
it's stupid. Spell points are stupid.
That's stupid. They're different.
Really good, actually.
Yeah.
5 is literally the perfect amount.
I'm sorry, 6. You can cast it 6 times.
Fuck.
Wait.
Alright.
Wait, how does
So dumb.
he have the ability to cast 6 second level spells? What kind of what?
It's pretty dumb.
I can do it twice.
Unless I'm
Spell points
reading
are
it wrong.
busted.
I need to double check for spell points, but yeah, I believe 6 times.
Ben's realizing it's broken.
No, it's not.
Can I
It's
get 3 more
stronger for
spells,
certain
please?
times.
Is it
He
that
doesn't
like he
have
has
the right number of spell points. I'm sorry, he can only cast it 4 times.
Oh.
Still a fair amount of times.
Yeah, we could
Compared
have
to
Walker.
2.
Walker's a sneaky boy. We could have him go across.
Walker's a +5 boy.
Oh
and
wait, can Simon cast invisibility?
I cannot.
he does have his one funny spell he can use on himself though,
Well, I was gonna say
Basically being invisible. Only
which
at
is a
night.
plus-
+11 mod, which is
we can
decent.
get
Plus 10.
5 people across.
You would have a +11 with your stealth, with your dex mod.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
So,
So
I'll
2
take a, I
people
can
would
take a
play
hide
that.
action as a bonus action.
right. So, do we have anything else that would help Walker get by unnoticed?
Owen can cast silence.
I can
There you go.
reduce
But
your
that's on a very
size.
specific area. Reduce sounds
Well,
like a
I
terrible
mean,
idea.
I
That's
figured
women.
like it's a 20-foot radius
Walker gets swept away by the current.
here.
Also, especially with like Walker isn't the best swimmer in the group by any means.
Make him smaller. Swim harder, little boy.
Should have prepared enhanced ability. Feels bad, man.
Let fucking Walker carry a mountain. So we talk about the logistics of getting people across on the way back, and then Owen does his funny magic, right?
Oh, right. I had already forgotten. So when we get back to the camp, Owen kind of like looks up at the sky, squats in the rain. He does the classic like movie tracker thing where he like picks up some like dirt and like smells it or something. I don't know.
He does something Walker has done on the reg since you've met him.
Yeah. I mean, there might even be like some mimicry going on here. And then he uses, he sings.
Fireball.
And then Walker turns to someone. Is he making fun of me?
He sings, and this is a song of like he sings. It sounds like he's singing to the rain, asking. He's almost. It's like he's personifying the storm. Like he sings a song of, I don't know, fucking. He's asking basically through song. He's asking how long the storm is going to last, and he will be casting a spell.
Rain,
What
will you go
genre
away?
of song is this?
We also want you to come again.
It's like it's like if Rain Dance had lyrics. That's what
It's
it is.
throat singing. Throat singing.
How about Baba Yetsu?
It's
I would like to
guaranteed
think that
throat
Owen
singing.
raps. But,
He does not.
I'm imagining it to the tune of 500 miles.
That's pretty good.
When a week up.
That's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
So, you, over the course of a moment or so of focusing, you gather a weather forecast. Which is, the rain will be dying off in about 2 or 3 hours. Fading out after that for a couple. It'll be dead for about 6 hours after that and begin to pick up again. Though not as heavily as it is now. And then, sometime about 6-8 hours after that, it seems to die out. And then, no more rain next 24 hours.
Owen gets back to his feet, dusts his hands off. With a few more hours of heavy rain. After that, it's going to lighten up.
Well, then we're on a time crunch.
We should hurry.
How long did it take us to get here?
Like an hour.
Okay.
We're rushing now to get back.
You guys do get back, I'm already informed. I did double check 5 times. I was looking at the wrong thing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's literally perfect, so we can leave one person behind.
There are 7 of you.
Yeah, but Simon can do his own thing.
Yeah.
He can?
Tonight?
Sometimes it's
I
fucking
can't do it
funny.
tonight.
With what spell
What?
slots?
I can't
Oh
do it
my-
tonight.
When
you
are
only
you
have one level 2
guys
spell
gonna
slot?
get long rest to get them spell slots back?
Did you only have one
I
level
don't
2
need
spell
long
slot?
rest. I don't need I have my features.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I like to take a short rest
Arcane
and
recovery.
recover one spell slot real quick.
Is that something he could do? Like if we go, because Amari can only send one person invisible across at a time. So could Simon
Yeah.
And this is not Owen suggesting this. This is me out of character. But could Simon take a little short rest, some short rest action while everyone else is going, and then he goes last or something?
Or Evian could give him a piggyback ride on the way there.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Fuck yourself.
Take a little snooze.
Well, here's the other thing. How will we know when to send the next person? Like one person gets over there, what do we just give them 15 minutes to do so?
Fuck.
Give him 10 minutes. I don't know. Fuck it. It's not that.
Then how much
swimming...
more rain will we have by the time we get back?
It's about the same for another 2 hours or so, I believe.
And how much time will we have when we get back?
About an hour or so.
If we hurry, can we get like an hour 15?
Yeah, if you hurry, you can probably get an hour 15.
So if we do that, we can all. That would take 5. That'll give us basically 5 15-minute stretches to get across, plus Simon's 6th being amongst those 5, because he would just need to finish just a quick short rest, which we'd have pretty much an hour for him to do so, and then him across.
He can do that while you guys are coming up with this plan at the base.
Yeah, that too.
At your little look over.
Yeah, so we could. That's very feasible then. 15 minutes each.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I think that's the move.
So,
and then
are we decided
who
that
do we
we're
leave behind? Amari, or
Don't you need him for the invisibility spell?
Well, he can use his magic and then head back up to the camp.
yeah.
Man, that's a dick move. Us to just decide his character staying behind.
Well, I mean, he's not here,
You're not wrong.
and
So wait, we're using an invisibility to get to the other side.
yeah, yep.
And
He's
our-
going
our-
to have to, unless Simon stays treads water under the dock and communicates where people are. He's going to have to guesstimate when they don't need invisibility anymore.
which our big idea is 15 minutes.
Yeah, which
Based
should
on
be
that's like
fine.
maximum time.
I mean, I
Easily
could-
feasible.
As long as Simon is 120 feet between everybody, he can message
Well, that's the
and
thing.
just...
It's way
yeah.
more than 240 feet.
Oh,
Look
is
at
it?
how
then-
big the fort is.
I mean, the dock is 200 feet long, and I assume we don't want to do it right next to the shore. And we want to get a decent. We want to start a decent distance away from it. We want to get a decent distance away from it. I mean, I'm assuming that's 400 feet.
So that's actually quite a long swim then.
I mean, it's not that bad, but it's not a short lap.
It's not going to be great for the people who don't work out.
yeah.
It's also
But like
not a
those people
swim
can also
that-
stay closer to the shore as well.
It's
like,
not a
if they're
swim
invisible.
that I would want to make in chainmail, right? That's the thing.
No, probably not.
How heavy is chainmail?
Barely, like 35, 40 pounds.
35. Evian could carry your chainmail for you if you want.
Inventory.
Evian's a strong lad.
Chainmail is 55 pounds.
Well, I underestimated.
And stupidly
You want-
bulky, don't forget that.
You can just
Am I-
wrap it up and then tie it to it with a rope.
I mean, we could just leave it behind.
That's
Or
fair.
if your armor behind,
I don't know, man. What the?
we could just
So-
tie it to Evian with a rope.
Before we go, have we thought about a way back plan?
Yeah,
We-
rafts.
the idea that Walker proposed is
rafts.
that we make rafts on the other side once we get everyone. With
I want to
with
make
the
sure
help
we
of
have
the
plans
refugees.
for there and back, so we don't get there like, yay!
I'm
Fuck.
explaining to you the plan Walker gave.
Yeah.
Ben, did you describe I don't know how to ping on the map.
Hold left click.
This little spot, is that like a lagoon?
I'm sorry? The right there?
Yeah.
It's
Map and accuracy?
it's like an inlet lake. It connects.
So would it be a shorter swim if we went out all the way up to the peninsula? Deeper water, shorter swim?
I think that's like Marquez would have told you it's probably 2 miles at the mouth.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
I mean, we could do that with the rafts.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's
maybe on the way
something that
back.
we could do on the way back.
Yeah, maybe on the way back we do the map. Because I mean, how long does it take to paddle on a raft 2 miles? What, an hour?
Yeah, feasible, certainly. We'd have to figure it out, though, see if they're actually, patrolling that area actively at night, things like that. But that's something we can work on when we get back, and it seems very feasible we can just do that then. So are we decided that we can just do this now, then?
I think so.
Start
Yeah.
heading up?
And it's
Who
going to
is
be
staying behind then?
Looks like it's gonna be Amari.
Sorry,
We're
man.
gonna leave him by himself.
Should
He's got the
should we
horses.
ping him? Let him know?
For the record, it would probably take about 4 miles to go across the mouth. Or 4
4?
hours.
4 hours.
Via paddling?
Rafts move speed is half a mile per hour in 5e.
Interesting.
What if we get a couple of burly lads with makeshift paddles?
Yeah, what if like we do a really good job making these rafts?
Slow.
I mean, that's
very
like
slow.
isn't that less than walking speed?
Yeah, that's like drifting speed.
It's a raft.
Yeah, but you can paddle, right?
What if we did a really good job of making the rafts?
Anyway.
What if we found this secret rudder upgrade? Right, so, like I said, is Amari staying behind?
Yes.
It seems
And
as
should we sit at him and let him know?
this seems like a good place to take a quick first break. As we can all enjoy looking at the recording now, welcoming back to where we were, you can see that the amount of time ago since the last roll has changed considerably. That was like a 40-minute out-of-character discussion that was just had. I need to make sure that this is on the record how long you guys spent debating this, both in and out of character, unrecorded. So now, as you guys finish discussing your plan, deciding everyone can get through...
I'm gonna throw something out there.
Yes?
We shouldn't have everyone bring the horses. We should only have 5 people go speak to them.
I was about to say that.
That way, the number is different from what we were on the ship.
Who are who are the 2 most suspicious people?
I think it should be people who are from
Or
the
the 2
north.
people who are least good at talking.
Like Walker could stay because he's not good at talking, and because he has family, and that'd be, you know.
It would be unfortunate if his face was seen in connection to some duplicitous acts in the North.
What?
So that makes Walker. Who else? Simon's already wanted. Logan's still fucking deafened.
Alright, so they get to stay. Rest of us are gonna take the horses. Go.
And go!
I'll be in the front.
As you guys... The 5 of you that are,
Back yet.
that are going to be bringing the horses, if you would please move your various tokens up to the edge of the...
Shit.
Do I still have dark vision?
No.
Or
No, I
Okay,
took it
cool.
off. Alright, Rom, Amari, who else?
I'm sorry, my room,
I can't hear you.
my internet cut out. My room is near.
You're still really low quality and I can't hear you.
His internet cut out. He's probably on his phone.
Why are we moving our tokens? I think that's
I am not on my phone. Yeah, why are we
We're
moving
only-
our tokens?
We're only bringing 5 people to the actual thing to do this because there's only 5 horses, and we want to be a different number of people than we're on the
Gotcha.
boat.
Okay.
Harder
Thank
to make the connection. The only thing is if... Never mind, we've already said everything.
So it's pretty much just Owen and Walker staying behind, right? The rest
No,
of
I
us
think
are going?
It's Simon and Walker because Walker has
Okay.
family and Simon's already wanted.
Got it.
Yes.
So everyone else begins to move up.
That does mean that Amari has to ride Sherry.
Oh, let me go ahead and, let's go ahead and
Oh, I
see how
can't
that...
now I can't see anything.
What?
I can't see anything on the map.
Oh,
Oh.
god.
Yeah, you moved it, changed it to the thing.
Alright, let's see how Zayn
It's just
handling.
Walker and Simon up to the side here.
It's not great. As you guys begin to head up, you are...
We don't want to have torches, right? That's not a thing we want. Last team. We want
You
to approach
are-
with torches. or
Yeah,
not?
sure. No torches.
Not the right one. That is the one.
Well, I mean, it's also like raining, so the torches really be that handy.
They're a bit, but not incredibly so. You see as a gentleman on horseback in Antelier uniform begins to come out to meet you and just gives you this loud, "Io! What business do you have here?"
Hello! Oh god, I'm blanking.
Dude, Alex, please.
I fucking know!
We were hunting and we got turned
Can
around.
we come in and speak for a moment?
It's been a long road.
You see his face kind of puzzled. Is there bad news?
Oh no, not only for us.
Bad news for others?
No, just our small party. I don't have any accent.
We don't, kind of puzzles. Yeah, come on. And, he guides the 5 of you into the fort, beyond a few guards.
Okay.
So easy.
Yeah, I was. Why do you think I was surprised this took half an hour?
This took us much longer than
Probably should have figured they'd put their less than stellar people out in the middle of the nowhere.
And you are guided into the middle of the courtyard of Fort Sydge. Immediately they guide your horses, and he kind of like he motions to one of the other guys. Come, these people have something. Kind of turns to you. Are your horses all right? Do they need? We can get them to the stable for now, at least. And your horses are guided to the stables nearby.
All right, now we run.
Oh,
see you, nerds.
I finally got rid of those 2 shitty assholes from Dreswood.
There's a couple of fugitives outside. Jump them.
Fucking Simon and Walker just sitting like Slav style, crouching, staring at each other in silence.
And at this point, given that you are not exactly being stealthy, I think we can go ahead and use global illumination so you can see a bit better.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's me. I can't move. Help, I can't move.
This is where they go inside, and then there's a fucking magic dude, and he's gonna get crazy here. Watch it.
Here
Guarantee
comes
it.
the truth. Here comes the truth.
It's gonna get crazy. I guarantee it. Watch it.
You are all guided.
Shut!
You are all guided through the main. I'm sorry, where was the? Up by Evian. You are all guided up through here into the main hall, and he apologizes again. I'm sorry. I wish we had a lobby or some such, and guides you into this room here. You are all free to move about your tokens that way. As you all eventually end up guided into what looks to be a dimly lit mess hall of some sort. There you go. And moving on.
yes.
A couple of guards just kind of watch, and he gets you all and just kind of sits you down at the table. Do you need anything? Are you all right? Leaving his horse with yours in the barn. My name is, Officer Doreen. Kind of sits you all down and looks at you, and just one at a time just kind of examines you all. Very late at night. What happened?
Well, you see, the 5 of us were out on a hunting trip. We'd heard there were alligators out in the swamps out here, and we were fixing to get some of the skins. It's pretty treacherous out there for horses, you know, even without the gators. And then we sort of remembered that there was this fort up here, and we thought it would be good if, you know, maybe we could pay to, William, can you stop? We figured maybe that we could pay you to watch over him for a while we went about our business. It'd be terrible for one of them to break a leg out in the bog out there.
He kind of... You see him weighing options for a moment. Most unusual. Here, how did you... We're a long way from the swamps.
Whoa.
Solid few hours from the swamps of the wilds. How'd you end up all the way up here?
Well, like I said, we remember that there was the fort up here, and it seemed like that would be the safest option for him. We're not exactly made of money, although we have a little bit saved up.
Not made of money, but that horse of mine is the most expensive thing I own. Nothing fits, I do.
Right, so it would be difficult to replace them if they got hurt.
He kind of just nods in agreement as you say that. I understand, I just, This isn't... I'm gonna go see if the Antier is still awake. I'll
Certainly.
be back in a moment. He heads out, leaving you guys to your own devices. Within the kitchen of... or the dining room or mess hall of Fort Sydge.
Is there no, there's no fire here?
There is no fire in the mess hall, though you would notice that there is a large oven and much more set up nearby. In the kitchen, where you can hear movement, you see this, this fairly impressive-looking orc woman who has a very dirty apron she's wearing and just kind of like currently in the process of what looks like grinding something. Very, very violently mixing a stew is the best description I can give.
I will relax and act casual.
Owen,
Same.
Owen does his best to kind of, you know, I mean, he like, you know, it people that have been riding through the rain, you know, and then they are suddenly inside, they have like a certain, you know, most people like start to dry off, right? Like he would, you know, maybe take off his, you know, put down his equipment and like, you know, wring out some clothing or something out, you know, something like that.
As you begin to dry off a bit, they apologize. You hear as one of the guys comes back, and one of the various guards just apologizes again for not having a lobby or anything for you guys to stay at. But a moment later, you see a man with graying hair, maybe 40s, late 40s, blonde at the top still though. Very small eyes and a kind of like he's glancing at you. Like he's got like there's resting bitch face. This is like resting untrustworthy face. He's got like that out of the corner of his eye look to it.
He suspects.
Yeah.
She knows who we are.
But as he comes around, he kind of looks at you guys and
you.
then he just gives this little half smile. Hi, hello there. I'm his Antier Jordan Casma. I've been running the fort here for a number of years, and I don't think I have ever had anyone ask us to watch their horses.
Well, it is a bit of an out of the ordinary situation. I'll admit that.
He kind of just nods in agreement, again, a bit surprised. Evian, with your incredible perception, you would note that he's not wearing an undershirt. It looks like he was getting ready to go to bed and got half-dressed to come meet you. He's not wearing any armor or anything, obviously.
Hey, as long as he's wearing underwear, I'm happy.
And he just kind of... So, how long do you need us to... Watch your horses? How long?
Few days.
kind of shakes his head. I take it they, down in Aria, they didn't, warn you about the dangers of the swamps of the wilds, did they?
We didn't really stop.
Shakes his head. There are supposed to be patrols doing that as well. We've had a number of attacks, we've upped our patrols as well, and it just... I apologize for that.
Well, we're not so much worried about our safety as our animals.
To have ended up all this way is just quite the journey. I would look after your horses for no problem. As a apology for the failures of the brigade in Aria.
Oh, not at all. We would be glad to pay for their feed and so forth.
There's no need. We actually just received a shipment. We're, a caravan headed back to Aria is actually leaving in the morning. Caravan, he guy shrugs. Not a caravan at all, it's more of a couple of people. And, he kind of stands up and goes over to, one of the tankards in the corner, one of the barrels in the corner, and fills it. Just kind of holds it out to you. It's not the best, but, freshly tapped if you're thirsty. It is ale.
Oh, yes. Liliana will accept.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem, man. He motions to it. Help yourself if you'd like. Anyway, he kind of claps for a moment. I would not be doing my due diligence if I did not, at least offer you a room for the night. You may have to double up. We are, as I said, a small caravan from Aria just came to drop off supplies a short while ago. They were intent on leaving today, but, well, weather. But we do have some barracks with, 4 visitors. It's rarely used. We double them as a prison, so it's not the nicest thing in the world, but...
Be better than sleeping out under the rain.
He nods. I mean, at the least, it's better than sleeping out in the rain.
We didn't talk about this.
I mean, it's gonna be out of character. It's gonna be really weird if we.
I mean, yes. Yes.
No thanks, I like the water.
Well, I can't think of a lie right now, so sure, that would be wonderful.
She says it out loud.
That was the first part of that sentence was out of character.
Well, Mr. Infleer, I can't really think of a good lie, but I guess we'll stay.
He'd probably go along with that too. He gives you another smile and just right. He kind of purses his lips just a bit, and as he's getting ready to walk and guide you, he kind of pauses and turns, looks at one of the other men. Could you take them out to the? I was just heading to bed. He turns back. Need your 8 hours when you're this busy? Kind of rolls his eyes. But please, we can at least take care of your horses for a couple of days, no problem. As I said, payment for the failures of the brigadesmen south.
Are you sure there's nothing we can do to compensate you?
He kind of considers for a moment. I mean, unless you're... How good are you at, We've actually been... Is that an honest gesture that you're offering?
I suppose it depends on what you had in mind, but...
Well, we've been in the process of wanting to reinforce some things out on the pier. Are you any good with woodworking?
I hate you, Ben. I fucking hate you, Ben.
I mean, if you have a couple of days, we we've been logging, as I'm sure you saw coming in. We've been logging, but occasionally termites and things, given where we are. Bugs just destroy half the wood, so... He shrugs again. If you'd like to help, I'm sure we could even arrange payment if you wish to do it longer term.
I'm no carpenter, but mayhap after we're done with the hunt, my friends and I could do some lifting for you.
He kind of splendid. I mean, at the least, I'm sure that you are capable of carrying trees and finding good ones. And in return, I'll make sure your horses are very well taken care of. Do they have names?
Oh, of course they do. Oh, and
brightens him,
and he begins lovingly describing the horses.
He seems
Even
to hang
Sherry.
on every word, and as soon as you get done, he just kind of... Just actually... Thank you. I need to be getting to bed. As I said, there is much to do, but come morning, I'm sure I can find some work for you if you wish to deal with it now. Otherwise, you can always do it when you come to pick them up.
Most generous.
Of course, it's not a problem. We don't see much in the way of visitors, so not a lot to worry about. And, he motions to one of the guardsmen, and he very quickly heads off, giving a quick bow, and just one of the most courteous men you've probably met in Lenore, Owen, in your short time here.
Just to be extremely thorough, like, is that something that I get, like, just without even trying to read this guy? Like, he's
Give
not...
me an insight check. Give me a blind insight check.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Hold on, let me see if I
Can I also give you a blind insight check to see what kind of vibe I got?
Can I make a double blind insight check?
I mean, they are double blind.
So if I do...
No, they're not. I wouldn't know what it is then.
Is that a yes, Ben?
No,
yes, you can also give it.
Did you not get my goof in?
I did.
Okay, I think I did it right.
I know I did it right, because it's just a bunch of fucking question marks.
I know you both did it right because it's not on the recording. You both get this sense that this guy did not get where he is through complacency. This guy is very good at his job.
Shit.
So, do I feel like I've given something away by telling him the name? Like, because he didn't ask for our names.
No, he didn't.
We named the horses after fucking getting off the ship, didn't we?
Yep.
You also...
Kind of half and half. You kind of came up with the names as you... You didn't really determine which one was which till you were off the ship.
I mean, only one of these horses has a paper trail anyway, so...
But yeah, so, not so much gave anything away as he, regarding the horses, seemed genuinely interested.
Does he, like, when he turns to leave, does he do so with purpose? Like, he's going to, you know, instead of going back to bed, he suddenly got some things to do? Or
no, he intently listened to everything you said before leaving. He didn't, like, excuse himself early or anything.
Okay.
It may have been that he just wanted to be polite and wanted you to, like, letting you finish before leaving, or maybe he genuinely was interested. 50-50 there.
Alright.
You guys are guided back by one of the infantrymen out of back through the courtyard to one of the rooms that you originally came in. You all can follow Amari's token, which is the one that I'm rolling to see where you're going. As you all head into this much, you should be able to get through there. Say wall.
Yes. I'm trying.
I'm sorry, I got you.
While we're on the way there,
Yeah?
I'm gonna kind of like shift my backpack a little, then reach a hand back to like feel on it, like I'm missing something, and say, "Oh, you know, I think I might have dropped one of my bags back on the path. You think I could take one of my friends and go grab it real quick?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion?
Yep.
Logan, can you shut
Fuck
the
off,
fuck up?
Logan.
Jesus.
The guard just kind of looks at you and he kind of just... He smiles a bit and just gives you this little half smile and just... Sure, I mean, I will help. I will help. Let's go. He kind of motions the rest of you. There are the few doors that are shut. Those ones have people in them from the caravan right now. But the others, you are free to pick whichever one you would like. And, getting the rest of you in, you guys all head in?
Did Ram want to take one of us, or did she just want
The
to go by
guard
herself?
just said that
He would go.
Can I
Which is
like
unfortunate.
can I like pull the guard aside for a sec?
You just kind of, yes?
You know, I'm really sorry, but I was trying to maybe get a little bit of alone time with the redhead over there. Do you think you could do me a solid?
Give me another persuasion check.
No.
He kind of, guess so. And like, a moment later, he like, as you guys are beginning to decide rooms, he goes, redhead. Towards Owen.
I assume he's talking about me. Oh no. Owen looks up, puzzled.
There has been something that has... The ant here needs to speak with you personally.
He kind of maybe goes a little bit pale, but nods and gets to his feet and begins moving towards the guard.
He looks to the other two. You are free. You are free to pick your rooms.
I
Will you be
imagine...
three? Marty's here too.
Yeah, there's three of us. We all just look at each other like... Oh.
Mari kind of gets into his room like, I guess.
Fuck it. I'll take a room.
You guys have a choice of any of the open rooms.
Marty's in that one. I guess I'll go into this one.
I can't.
They are all mundane. They have a small like pull out. How do I describe it? A crate without a top, essentially under the beds to pull out to store things if you need to. A small end table and a bed. You note that they only open and shut from the outside. These are full-on doubling as jail cells.
Great.
Good.
And a moment later, he looks to you, Owen, and just kind of he gets you outside and he goes, "Go on, lucky bastard."
Does he give me the? Does he give me the look?
Yeah, he's like, "You lucky bastard."
Owen just smiles and shakes his head a little bit, and under his breath he just says, "Let it go." And he moves to follow Rom.
I'm gonna like grab Owen's hand and hurry the fuck off.
All right, you guys are heading back out.
Yeah.
The three guards that are still outside kind of give you a weird look. One of them was like, "Is everything all right?"
We'll be right back. And I'll give them a really exaggerated
shrugs.
wink.
If the ant here thinks it's sure, whatever. And like he begins thumbing through some cards in the rain. They're all soggy and not really cards anymore. And you guys head back out and meet with the rest of your party, I will presume.
Where Walker and Simon are silently squatting, staring at each other.
Enjoying the rain and misery. Alright, you guys get back to Walker and Simon.
Walker just like raises a brow. What's going on?
Well, the horses will be taken care of. Unfortunately, we have also been invited to stay the night, and it would look very strange if we refuse.
This is going to put a... It's going to slow us down, because we'll have to wait till tomorrow night to actually pass. We're going to lose the whole day because of this.
Could we perhaps pass in the wee out? Oh no, because we're going to be needed. They need to see us leaving. I suppose the two of you could attempt it tonight, but
Wouldn't have to worry.
Well, sorry to leave y'all out in the rain.
It's not a big deal.
See you in the morning then.
The horse, well, there's no horses there anymore. Back to the little nook we have.
Not much else to do.
Owen gives them a look of sympathy before they head off.
Walker starts crying a little bit.
They can't. They're probably not tears. It's just rain. falling
Yeah,
down.
it's just rain, probably.
But for a second, you were hoping.
So let's do a 45-minute RP of me and Walker and Simon at the hovel.
Knock yourselves
Talking
out.
shit about
If
the
you
others.
guys have anything to do, please knock
Nothing.
yourselves out.
Nothing to say. Walker goes back,
I hit him right in the. Oh.
tries to fucking dry his shit enough to set up a fucking spot for himself. He's not sleeping. It's too fucking wet to sleep.
I use precipitation on the ground, and I sleep on the dry ground. Leave Walker there.
Walker watches him as he dries his own things and stands there soaking wet.
Like a
Drip on him.
puppy dog.
Drip on him.
No, I'll clean up Walker too.
Do you clean up Walker's like bag and shit?
Do you want your bag clean?
William does, but Walker's just like, what do you, can you spin me some yarn, Logan? I want to know what the fuck's going on. We're both Walker's squatting as we have to do now back at the fucking little camp. What's
back
Simon
at the
uses
camp.
magic on himself?
Simon uses magic himself to make himself dry. He looks over to you and like nudges like, do you want to be dry too? Like, I'm not gonna do it unless you want me to.
If you did it, I could work through the night. I could actually get some stuff done instead of
And
wasting
then
time.
as soon as he said, yeah, use prestidigitation on you, you're dry. You're not sleeping tonight, are you?
No. You can get some sleep.
Alright. And Simon will make sure the ground is nice and neat. He is laying down his bedroll.
Walker? For your night of watch?
Hang on. Walker sighs, seeing Simon going to bed. Damn, that fucking magic looks convenient. And then he gets to work.
Boo hoo, bitch.
God, Logan, you're such a fuckhead. Remember when
Perception
fucking
check,
Walker made a
please.
big deal about all magic being dangerous and shit? No, I guess not.
I'm sad Owen missed that moment.
Perception
Yeah,
check,
Walker's
please,
gonna be
Walker.
working through the night, taking care of his shit.
Let's see if he sees anything while he does.
Need perception?
Yep.
I didn't hear that part, sorry.
I hope Shrek doesn't get you.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking get Shrek. You see that fucking roll? Sorry, yelled.
All right. While you keep an eye out, Rom, you and Owen get back, and you are not met by the guards from before, but instead another officer. Who just gives you this vague smile and just, hello, I'm Officer Aikenson. I've been put in charge of making sure that your stay here is okay, and that nothing untoward happens under our custody for your time here.
Oh, thank you.
I don't believe that, they told your friends, but I would recommend not closing the doors all the way. They'd only open from the outside.
Yes,
you were probably
I do believe that it was mentioned that it was, part of a jail, I think.
It doubles as one. We rarely use it as one, but in the event that, you know, escapees, people trying to escape the country, people that need to be detained, we can keep them.
Of course.
But right now, for the most part, it is just used for basic things such as strange people hunting all the way out here. But either way, these, emotions for you to go in. I regret to inform you that there are no double beds, but, the rooms on the left-hand side are a bit bigger.
Owen kind of nods to the officer and just adjusts his belt.
Constitution check. No, don't.
Well, for girth?
That was the joke, yeah. He kind of gives you, again, not side-eyeing you, but obviously everyone's kind of thinks that this is strange. And, you guys head in. Are you going to be keeping watches for the night, or?
Don't think we need to, probably.
can see,
Owen would,
Do the doors creak?
a bit, but not a lot.
Okay.
The beds, on the other hand, they creak a lot.
So everyone hears that all night long?
Yeah,
only
there's
if
two kids
anybody's
outside
giving
playing
a-
on a seesaw, and it's the worst thing on the planet.
Owen would take, like, his own shift. Like, he would stay up, you know, just kind of listening for a while as he dries out.
Let's see what I got in my bag here.
Drugs.
Liliana's gonna put, like... Oh, she wants to put something so that the door can't be closed quickly, but I don't know if she has anything that would work.
Evian's going to fucking bed.
Amari's already out, too. You would also note that Amari took the nicest room on the right-hand side.
Of course he did.
Yeah, I'll just fucking go to sleep.
Same.
It's whatever.
Yeah, go into bed.
And eventually the rain dies down.
With
Dies
something propping the door open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't like shut automatically. So if you don't shut it, it doesn't seem like it will.
Still.
Just in case, put like a shoe or a boot or something in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are awoken early in the morning. It is presumably very early because there are windows. As you can see, they are reinforced barred windows, but they are windows. And you can see outside there's like this loud of thunder. But you are awakened fairly early. You guys all complete a night's rest. Walker, I will get to you. You and Simon over in Funland momentarily.
Only me.
You are the only one You are the only one that is keeping watch, so yeah. But you keep... I'm sorry, I said I'll get to you later. The rest of you are awoken by the sound of thunder, though there is no immediate rain. You would presume... oh, and you would know that this is probably before the next wave of rain hits. It is very loud, like the lightning hit very close by, and that's when you start to hear what sounds like cheering or celebration or something. You can hear lots of yelling outside.
Uh-oh.
I presume there's no windows in these little rooms.
No, he did. He
are.
just
There
said
are.
that there were windows.
Oh, well then I look out the window.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't
Looking
ready,
out,
fellas.
it is just past sunrise, and you can see over by the, like, on the far side, like, back left, over by where you saw that, camp. There are about 10 guys that look like they're currently, like, you kind of focus, like, you're still kind of hazy waking up, and then you begin to hear chug, 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 and, like, you can see someone currently doing what looks like a keg stand.
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning?
Yes.
Love them for them.
What do these men look like?
And tell your brigadesman.
Oh my god, it's like a fucking frat house.
Are they Chad looking brigadesmen or?
Do they... Wait, can I make an insight check to determine, like, on a scale of 1 to Chad?
Can you give them a coolness number?
No. But, yeah, there seems to be a decent few of them. Obviously, given how far away you are, you don't, recognize at a glance. You can't see any of them from out your window. Though I will also note the door is shut and cannot be opened from this side, the outside door.
Like, to the barracks?
Yes.
Can't, like, as in we can't leave our
You
rooms?
cannot... No, you can get out of your rooms, but not out of the main hallway.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, god damn it.
Didn't we leave shoes?
No, this is the main, like, down here.
Oh. So
We can't leave the hallway of rooms.
God
So we
damn
So
it.
you can get into your rooms, you just can't get out.
So we just knock. Or yell.
Liliana's gonna knock on the door.
There's no immediate response, though a minute later you do see what looks like someone run past the window just by the door at the end of the hallway, and you
Hope
see...
we're not in jail.
Yeah, we kind of put ourselves in this one, huh?
Fangs on
Yeah.
the door.
You hear the door quickly open, and you see one of the guards, and a woman, fairly average build, average height, like, doesn't stick out all outside of the fact that she has incredibly long red pigtails, like, almost down to her waist pigtails. And she just kind of, I'm very sorry. I think that when they left, they might have shut the door on you. I don't... Were we being loud? Did we wake you all up? Or what happened?
Sounds like you're all having a party.
They're getting ready to go to bed. It's night for them. That's the night shift. They do every night. Morning.
I see.
She kind of leans in. Like, at this point, she kind of, like, comes in herself. And she's like, oh, shit. And she, like... You see there is, right next to the door, a, like, 2x4 that looks really beat up. And she kind of puts it there. The more insightful amongst you would probably be able to decipher, these guys get locked in here a lot.
These guys are idiots!
Remember when you guys spent 40 minutes planning how to get through here?
We could have just lied our way through.
Maybe.
So bad.
Maybe.
Most likely, these people are dumb.
Hey, the guy in charge said to open this. Can you hold it?
And she kind of like follows you in, and she's just like, yeah, things were, there's not a lot of crown oversight up here, so we kind of get to do whatever we want.
Ooh, that sounds pretty choice.
I mean, we still do our jobs, but
But there's some wiggle room for fun.
Well, of course. I mean, the only rule that Antir Kazmar has is never open the gate north. That is it. As long as we don't do that, we're good. It was a little half smile.
Why is that the only rule?
Because if that gets
no
open
one's allowed
without...
out of the country.
Why would you want out of the country?
I don't know.
We're the first and last line of defense to any sort of horrible things at the Light's Edge Plains.
Are there horrible things out there?
Kind of shrugs. Maybe. I've been. A couple of the officers sometimes scout out there. We do, I believe, groups of 2 do daily scouts out there just to make sure, but that's about it.
Do they ever come back with stories?
Kind of shakes her head. We do occasionally come across a knoll or 2.
Does Owen know what that is?
Yeah, you'd know what knolls are. For context, you would, you and Evian both, but especially you, would know that, knolls are as civil... Give me a history check so I can see how to phrase this.
Both of us, or just
a knoll history
anybody?
check?
I would say this is going to be specifically, yeah, I'd allow anybody.
Even me?
Yo, we know all the kind of things about
God
gnolls.
damn, we know about gnolls.
As civilization bloomed, much like goblins, gnolls were kind of pushed to the outskirts. They a little bit less intelligent. Using tools is not really... It's about... With goblins, you'll see them make huts and things sometimes. With gnolls, maybe they'll use a spear, pointy stick. But
So they're like gorillas.
a little bit dumber than gorillas in general.
Are they inherently aggressive?
They're territorial.
Hostile?
But as civilization bloomed, they got pushed further and further out. Jesus, you guys rolled well on that. And much like many of the normal, fantastical, and D&D-esque perils of civilization, the fact that Lenore is such a small, tightly knit country and has everything so close together means that a lot of those issues it doesn't have. Its issues are much more on a political scale and things like that. Things like the goblins being strange to have so close to civilization or really anywhere in Lenore. So they were pushed north. But more than that, especially this for you, Owen, tribes of gnolls and things like that are a huge thing in the southern reaches of Garland. Like where the
Mornkin are from.
Yes, yeah. That's a lot of the time they are scouting things like that because roving bands of humanoid-esque monstrosities like that are incredibly common, and the fact that that's where Garland will eventually have to expand to if they keep growing means that, like, I'm talking roving bands of 1,000 plus.
So this is the Wild West, and you know, I don't want to go there. I don't want to finish that thought.
The worst part is we all already know it, so...
All know it.
It's better if it's not voiced.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Nope.
Nick, I want to hear it.
But,
No.
But roving bands of these things would, especially, like, out of Aranova, it's why Fort Oster was, originally constructed. Things like that. But the expansion of all that, the Mornkin, all of that has to do with a lot of why they're such good hunters and etc. Because they have to be really good at going on horseback, being able to note, all right, there's 1,000 fucking gnolls moving north, and they'll follow them for half a day and then begin to head back to report once they have a rough idea of where they're moving.
Got it.
That's a history lesson on gnolls for you.
Wait, so I do know about Mornkin. Suck it.
You do know some stuff, yep. Not specifically about the kin, but about how they handle things, at least.
It's good enough.
Could there be a knoll head on the family trophy room wall?
What?
Maybe. Non sequitur
Your
as fuck.
family?
Yeah, my family.
But anyway, so she just, occasionally a knoll or two, and she got, actually, we brought one in about 3-4 days ago. Didn't know what to do with it. We ended up using it for bait, but we still have the skull. The skulls look kind of weird and funny.
I bet.
What one? Souvenir for going hunting, I think they said you were doing?
Aye.
What are you hunting, anyway?
Gators.
Alligators. Figure the skins will fetch a good price.
She kind of nods.
Down,
They do. They're stronger than just about any other leather out there.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of, you see her puzzle for a second, and just kind of like thinking, you know, the beholden blades. They came through here about a year ago or so. They were actually heading out north on a bounty. They one of them had probably half a dozen gator skins on them. Left them here. We used them for all sorts of things. It's actually incredible.
I thought you said that no one was allowed out north.
They're trusted by the crown. They're if you ever met them, you would. And she kind of like starts like curling her hair at the end of her braid a bit, where it kind of poofs out. If you ever saw them, they're incredible. I wish I was like them better, but no, they're very well trusted by the crown, the brigade. They do so much to help this country. But I mean, we know they're not going to be doing anything wrong. So, they,
Of course.
yeah, there was she kind of again puzzles. I think it was a large griffin that was out there. Reported they were hunting it for weeks. They headed out. They came back, I think it was 2 days later, unable to get it. Shakes her head.
Oh, you know, I've heard about griffins. They're shifty bastards.
I nod sagely.
She kind of shrugs. I haven't, though, so... All I know is they're very majestic, beautiful creature. It's a shame about how they murder people indiscriminately.
Ain't it just?
Owen is doing his best to just, like, he suddenly goes tight-lipped.
Alright, and with that, Evian's gonna be disturbingly quiet for the last however long this goes on.
Evian is now half asleep in the corner.
He's listening to this fucking story. So, anyway, yes, that's the theater there. So, did you need us to keep it down, or are you all awake now? She kind of looks behind you guys and, like, sees everyone else slowly getting up.
You know, it's probably better if we get an early start anyway.
Early to rise and early to... I don't know what that saying actually is. Guy shrugs. It's no big deal. The Antier wanted to see you in his office.
All right.
All of you.
A moment to gather our things and we'll be right out.
Of course. And gives a quick nod, and I guess I don't need to move. Ari. She guides you guys very down, and she motions. She's like, all right, just head down there, and then you gotta make a left, and that's gonna be the second door on your left hand side. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your help.
Of course. It was a little smile. And you guys head down. There's a couple of guards. You see one of them head into this room here, and kind of walking by, you see that it seems to be some sort of storage. You can still see someone else inside over on the other side. They're beginning to prepare breakfast. There's a couple of them. Or dinner for those who do the night shift. And the 5 of you are guided down the hall and to the left, where you can see there are quite a few people inside. There is someone, a taller, lankier gentleman, kind of darker skin with these this short beard that gets longer and comes into like almost a braid down the chin, leaning up against the desk as you all head in. You just hear a quick "come in" as you all eventually find yourselves in what you will presume is the office of the Antier. Hey there, you can see there are actually 2 separate offices here. And you see the gentleman leaning up against the, just kind of looks up and just nods at you and just goes, "Hi there. How's it going?" You recognize the scout that you originally spoke to, Officer Doreen, along with what looks like another officer on the other side of that desk. It's a shame Simon's not here because there is a small library in the corner as well.
It's probably better he's not here.
No, he just like look at it and then just like they decide not to do anything interesting with it whatsoever.
And the end here. I was hello, how was your night? Was it good?
Very restful.
That's very good. That looks. So, were you hoping to get an early start to hunting, or did you want to help us out today? No hard feelings either way.
I think it's better if we get an early start, and then, depending on how well we do, we'll spend some days when we come back. Maybe.
He kind of nods. All right, that's perfectly fair then. This A motions to the darker skinned gentleman with the long braided chin beard, I suppose. And he this is Arcanist Gendabar. I don't know if you've ever been around magic, but he's a mage with the brigade up here.
Magic?
How interesting to meet you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little smile. I'm pretty good at it too. But no, he asked me. I don't. May I clean you all up? That's all I want to do.
With magic?
He nods. He motions to the Antier behind him. The Antier specifically asked me to do it.
Is it safe?
He looks like he doesn't know how to answer that question. Why wouldn't it be safe? It's just a gift granted by the son of the sun. Well, granted use by the son of the sun. Okay, like gives a little half shrug and rolls his eyes.
I suppose if it's safe. Owen begins watching this man very carefully.
You watch as, similar to what you've seen Simon and Amari do, he casts Prestidigitation, dries all your things, and cleans you up.
Ooh.
Like, how useful.
As he gets finished, like, Liliana, like, your braids are, like, perfect again. They're not, like, kind of poofy and unorganized from the rain or anything. He just...
Liliana gives, like, a little excited spin.
Well, I hope you're... He kind of pauses. I hope your hunt bears fruit. Is that... He kind of turns back to the Antier. The Antier kind of shrugs.
Owen,
I honestly have no idea what the fuck this man is saying half the time.
Owen lets out a hearty chuckle and he says, well, let's hope it bears gators and not fruit.
I'll say.
Yeah, fruit would not be as useful as gators.
Well, I mean, it's It's one thing or another, but if you do want fruit, we do have an apple tree around back. We can offer you a few if you want. You know, good luck. Just don't take the ones with worms in them. They're kind of gross.
Well, I would choose to forfeit my apple so that Patches could have some.
He kind of thinks a bit. Oh, fair enough. We'll do. We'll make sure to give one to... He kind of turns to the anteater. And the anteater begins recanting to him which one, with a level of detail that is just as good as what Owen said, exactly which one Patches is.
It's bothering Nick so much that he knows so much. Like, he was so intent on learning about our horses, but he has still not asked for our names. That bothers me.
Get over it! This is like the one question we don't want to pick again.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. It's weird.
And with that, they both kind of give you a little bit of a hearty goodbye. The original officer, Doreen, who said you just kind of, who found you, kind of waves at you. The other officer behind the table doesn't even look up. And you guys find yourselves leaving Fort Sydge without your horses.
Do they let us, like, does the guy show us out?
Yeah. There's a contingent. There are probably, I didn't, this isn't how I was expecting this to go, but there are probably, I'd say 40, 45, like, as you're heading out, you can see more people coming from upstairs, like, over that area. There are probably 20 or 30 more brigadesmen that come down.
So every time you say you don't expect something, I hate you a little bit more.
So when it becomes obvious that the guy is leading us out, Officer Doreen is leading us out, Owen would kind of stop and say, do you mind if I go and visit the apple tree and say goodbye to the horses?
Kind of looks in. Of course, let's go. And kind of guide you over to it, and he shows you where the apple tree is. Over this way. You can see they have a small little farm where it looks like they're growing cabbages and maybe carrots or something. They're not doing a very good job.
Sad.
Yeah, you get a sense that nobody here really knows how to farm, and they're just kind of, you know, they're like, it can't be that hard. And it's not bad, but there's a row in the middle where something definitely didn't survive.
Are there, like, any obvious things that they're doing wrong that I could point out to Guardsman Doreen?
Not unless you want to give them an entire, like, lesson on how to farm.
Well, maybe I'll do that instead of lift heavy things when we get back. But Owen will pick a few apples and then go to the stables, and he does not hide. He does not make an attempt to hide this, but he goes around to each horse, making sure that it at least gets a bite of an apple. And, you know, he, like, gives them some neck pats and some like nose rubs.
Officer Doreen just kind of looks at you. Don't forget they said there was going to be an extra for Patches, was it? I don't.
But
I'm not like the anteater. The anteater Kazmar, he's got a memory like a cow. He's something like a cow. I don't know.
They've had a long road, so
cows.
No, the horses.
Oh yeah, that makes.
These guys are so stupid.
And Owen explains to each horse. He speaks to the horse, and he says, you know, something along the lines of like, okay, you know, we're going to be going now. We'll be back in a few days. Everything's going to be fine. And Talia here are going to take good care of you. Nothing to worry about. And he does that to every horse. And when he gets to Sherry, he kind of leans in a little bit and he says, now you don't be going and making trouble for these nice people. You hear?
Give me an animal handling check.
Sherry fucking just kills Owen. One kick to the head.
Sherry loves me.
She kind of stares at you out of the corner of her eye a bit and kind of like stands a bit and then just starts drooling.
That's good enough for me.
What that means is, fuck you. They'll get what they get. That's the best you can get from it. So,
like I said, good enough for me.
There you go. Good enough for you.
He gives Luath an extra pat on the way out. That is all.
And with that, you guys all find yourselves... at that point, they don't even escort you. They just kind of let you go. Like, Waffle waves as, like, have a good day, happy hunting! And, like, very cordial. You can see a couple of people loading up a couple of the horses with wagons and beginning to head back as well. They're probably going to be leaving within an hour or so. But other than
we
that,
want to be getting on the road before them so that there's no overlap.
You get a sense they're not going to be going very fast anyway. With that, you guys head off. It is early morning. It is just about sunrise, and you begin to head out of Fort Sydge. Well, Walker, you hop back to the middle of the night.
It's me.
It is dark. You watch. It's nice being dry up until shortly after Simon falls asleep, when it gets very wet and miserable again because it's still wet and miserable. But eventually the rain stops. You kind of wring out your jacket again and kind of take off your cloak, wring it out again, and eventually get something resembling dry. The earth quickly soaks up the small lake, the pool of water that is here. You get a very good sense that this happens a lot. You watch as the night goes. You see, maybe 20 feet away from you, one of those exploding frogs just kind of... And it stares in your direction for far too long.
Walker will eye this creature, but not pay it any mind unless it's getting any closer.
No, you eye it, and it eyes you, and you get locked as fucking dead heat. You're staring it in its weird yellowish eyes.
Do I win?
For 45 minutes.
Fuck.
Hey, do I win?
I did.
It does blink. I presume you blink as well, but after maybe 45 minutes, it kind of... It slowly starts hopping off. It doesn't even hop. It almost starts waddling before it finally does a single hop and then keeps waddling. And other than that,
Walker thinks about how he got here.
My name's Walker. You might be wondering how I got here.
Record scratch.
There's your record
frame.
scratch.
Hey, my name's Walker. Probably wondering how the fuck I got here.
Having a fucking... Of course it's happening while you're having a staring contest with a fucking exploding frog.
With a fucking, another 26-year-old lying down next to a puddle nearby.
Anyway. And eventually, morning comes. Do you have any plans? Actually, based on how... Yeah, no, they'd probably be meeting back up with you. So, as you guys have successfully completed this leg of your journey, as dangerous as it is, to drop off some horses with the police by asking.
I hate you.
As you get a lay of the land and figure out exactly how things are going to suss out from here. As we hopefully see where things go from here. We're gonna go ahead and end tonight's session.